Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to listen to the incomparable Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Holly. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained. WrestleMania 6 was the first of its namesake to venture outside of the US confines, as the city of Toronto was selected for the 1990 iteration of the showcase of the Immortals. With both WrestleManias 4 and 5 having emanated from the Boardwalk Hall, the granddaddy of them all had a much welcome return to a stadium environment, as the Skydome played host to the 6th iteration of the event. Having beaten Macho Man Randy Savage in 1989, Hulk Hogan had once again cemented himself at the top of the Federation's billing, and in doing so commenced his second run as WWF Champion. With no looming threats on the horizon from monster heels, and Savage having been left in the wake of the Hulkster, there were questions from the WWF fanbase as to who would be taking on Hogan in the headline slot at WrestleMania 6. It was no secret that with the changing of the decades from the 80s to the 90s, Vince McMahon was looking towards the future. Hulk Hogan had unquestionably been the man of the 80s, but now the Federation had their eye on the road that lay ahead. The horse that McMahon and the Federation looked to hitch their wagon to was the Ultimate Warrior. The larger-than-life Warrior looked on the surface to be everything the promotion could want in a Hulk Hogan replacement. Big, strong, colourful, and most importantly, a good merchandise seller. Going into the event, Warrior was the reigning Intercontinental Champion, having regained the title against Rick Rude at SummerSlam of the year prior, and this helped set the scene for the first of its kind at WrestleMania. The surging rise and popularity of the Ultimate Warrior led to he and the Hulkster crossing paths over the course of 12 months, perhaps most notably their brief exchange during the 1990 Royal Rumble match. This was but a taster of what was to come. The main event of WrestleMania 6 was presented as the ultimate challenge, and would see the ceremonial passing of the torch from one generation to the next. Title versus title, Hogan versus Warrior. Elsewhere on the card, Rick Rude would be the chosen opponent for Jimmy Snuka's in-ring WrestleMania debut. Although he appeared alongside Hogan and Mr. T at the first outing, he had not yet competed in a match on the grandest stage. Former booker at Jim Crockett Promotions, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes would team with Sapphire to take on the Macho King and Queen Sherry, a mighty fall for the former NWA and WWF champions respectively. WrestleMania 6 would also be the in-ring WrestleMania swan song of Andre the Giant, who as one half of the Colossal Connection looked to defend their tag team titles against Demolition. During the broadcast, as well as announcing an attendance record for the Skydome, the Federation were keen to promote the LA Coliseum as being the location for WrestleMania 7, but that, my friends, is a story for another time. Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 20 of the Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts Scott and Holly.
Hello.
How you doing, Holly?
I'm okay.
Tired? Achy?
Very sore.
Gym session this morning?
Yeah.
Watching, for anyone, well, for everyone, because no one would have seen her get out of the car this morning when she got here, the look on her face was a real picture. Very funny. Yeah, I know, but it's, you kind of now get to look forward to having your Easter chocolate on Sunday.
Honestly, roll on the Freddos.
Yeah.
Roll on.
Have you got like a jar full again?
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Have you not? Oh, you got an Easter egg though?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't wait.
One that you can actually eat and that you don't hate, so that's a story for another time.
Story.
So we are back on the March Through The Manias, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
I was looking forward to this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can tell by the glee all over your face that you're excited about this one.
Yeah, it was like kind of the epitome of my childhood,
Okay.
Because of some of the people that were involved. Although, having said that, this isn't the first WrestleMania that I ever saw.
Okay.
That'll be WrestleMania 7, so I've got a few more stories for that one. But before we go into WrestleMania, beginning of the show, anything caught your eye in the world of wrestling that you want to discuss?
Well, funny you should mention this.
Isn't
it? Yes. I just watched the little segments of Raw this week. By little, they weren't really like little.
No? How much do you reckon you saw?
Well...
I mean, it's a 3-hour show, so...
Yeah, no, I definitely didn't see that much. Because as you kindly confirmed to me, so I wasn't going crazy, the network does not put them up.
It does, but
instantly,
just it's like a month after. I think it's because of TV rights.
Res annoying.
Yeah.
But I went to my trusty YouTube and found the Rock and Cody segment.
Which one? There was a few.
Just the one in the. I have seen clips of the backstage stuff, but just the one in the ring, which I'll be honest. And then.
What? No, you've got to elaborate.
I don't know. I mean, Cody I could listen to. Like, I think it's fine.
Did you not see the Rock's entrance?
Yeah, but it just didn't do anything. And I know that was the point. I am aware this is the point. For the length of the segment, thank God I was putting my washing away at the same time. Let's just put that out there.
The bit where they stood in the ring silently for a while,
like,
I'll be honest, that
dull.
did go on a little bit too long for me.
Didn't it just?
But the Rock coming out and the way they did the camera angle, so it looked like he was appearing out of the darkness.
Yeah, I mean, it was clever.
That was electrifying.
It was clever.
Really good.
Well, he is the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
Isn't he just? And apparently he's also the final boss, which I'm pretty sure was Satomura's nickname.
Oh, was it?
So
I just think of Mario, Sonic, wasn't it the final boss?
Brilliant. The final boss nickname was used by, I think it's Meiko Satomura, who was a UK NXT women's champion. In fact, I think she's moved to the NXT main brand now, but she's a veteran of the game. She's been wrestling since the early 90s, and I'm pretty sure she was called the final boss. Granted, it's more fitting for The Rock, but still, I was like, Meiko, bless her.
And then I jumped onto the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins little promo.
It was good, that.
Throw some freaking jelly on them and get them all wrestling.
Did you hear a couple of the comments that were made during that segment?
Oh, yes.
So Punk talking about how, his arm might not be working, but he can still use his mouth. Yep. Ask his wife.
Yeah.
So CM Punk eats the pussy, is what we hear.
Fine, yeah.
Quite honest, but he said, we're not on Netflix yet, so I can say it. I'm pretty sure you can say that on Netflix. I mean, unless you've got
some of the stuff I watch on Netflix, you could definitely say
exactly what I'm thinking. So unless they've got a particular agreement of what they can and can't say when they go there, I don't know. But Punk was in fine. In fact, all three of them were.
All three, to me, all three. And this is Drew that I really like.
Did you see Drew slightly break character at one point? When they were dancing around, so he said, I'm the chosen one. Yeah, and who chose you, Drew? Who chose you? Say it. Say the name. Say the name that you can't say. Obviously, they're skirting around Vince McMahon.
Of course.
Part of me would love Drew to go Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And just watch everyone go, oh! And like their heads explode. I think that would have been very entertaining.
But that segment I really enjoyed. Like, all three of them on top form. Brilliant.
And what was the bit? Oh, Seth Rollins, when he says to Punk, he says, do you want to know what I think? No. Fair answer.
There was a bit, I think it was him as well, and it says, it doesn't matter. And I was like, do it in Isma, do it in The Rock's voice, come on, do it.
The only part I didn't actually care for that much in that segment was when, so Punk's obviously listing people that keep talking about him.
Oh, yeah.
Fine. But then he mentions The Rock, and I'm like,
oh, yeah.
I don't know, I felt like that was I get it, because he wants to put himself on the radar so they could potentially do something down the line. Fair enough. But I was just like, it feels like a shill, and that doesn't feel like something that Punk should be doing. Everything else was brilliant. I don't know if you saw any of the matches or anything on the show.
No, I didn't, because
watch the first match.
Time was of the essence yesterday, shall we say?
Definitely watch the first match. It was Ricochet against JD Madonna.
Oh, I like Ricochet. So
Madonna? I said Madonna there, didn't I?
Yeah.
Really
good?
Really good match.
Oh, okay.
Really good. Like, there was one particular move. So, like, the finish of it, Ricochet hits a shooting star press on McDonough, who's standing, and he falls as he's catching him with the shooting star press. There was also a bit where JD so Ricochet sat on the floor, JD grabs him by the hand, pushes him up, Ricochet goes straight up to his head and then does a Canadian Destroyer. So Adam Cole's Panama Sunrise from the second row, where they do the flip pile driver.
Yeah.
So from a seating position, he got pulled up and then hit.
Okay, I'll find that.
And you would have gone, no, holding your neck, but it was spectacular.
I really enjoy watching most Ricochet matches, actually.
And this was a very good one.
Oh, okay.
Very good one. Everything just seemed to be kind of firing all cylinders from what I saw of Raw.
Nice.
I think I saw about just over an hour and a half, all told, and everything I saw was really good.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to think. Well, one match was...
something else I saw was Becky Lynch absolutely clout Mysterio.
Do
Brilliant.
you think the worm's turning for Becky? Because she's not getting the, like, obviously back in the day, she's the man and everyone was going mad.
I think, I don't know, because Rhea's popularity is, I think, far surpasses Becky's now.
I've got a horrible feeling, but...
Do you think they're going to change the title hands? Okay.
I hope not, but I think they will.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they do that, give Becky her title reign for a little bit and then she departs.
Yeah. Or at least give her the title so her and Sethy Poos can take some more naked photos.
Oh, I love that. That's brilliant.
With the belts. Of course you did, but then again, you don't have to wear the belt after them.
True.
Like if I'm Seth, like if I take the title off Seth Rollins, which lets you know I'm not ruling it out.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking that's been on your dick.
Great.
I don't want that. Yeah, for you. But I'm not. I'm not personally. I'm not a fan of the sausage. Each to their own. But that's not my shtick. I don't even think I'd want Becky's.
You mean you're telling me that you haven't done that with the belt that you've got?
Okay, so we are moving on from events of this week. No, I haven't. I couldn't get it around my waist. it's the child's belt. I can get it around my leg. That's about it. Anything else caught your eye?
No, that's it. All good.
Yeah, no, really good Raw. I mean, hopefully that's a sign of things to come going forward for them, because that's something that I could actually see myself watching on a weekly basis, which I haven't been able to say for... I couldn't even tell you the last time I consistently watched Raw on a weekly basis. But back to the matter at hand.
Yes, let's.
Back to the March Through the Manias. As I said, episode 20. 20 episodes in now.
I know.
Which doesn't sound like a massive number, but when you think it's one a week, that's quite a sustained period
20
of time.
weeks?
Yeah, I mean, and there was a massive gap, to be fair, between a few of them.
Well, yes.
Because we started, what was it, October?
Yeah,
mid to late October, something like that. And, going from strength to strength, some would say. And we've arrived at WWF WrestleMania 6. Mm-hmm. Took place on the 1st of April 1990, the first WrestleMania that I was alive for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. A little small tidbit for you. The venue was the Toronto Skydome in Toronto, Ontario. Obviously, that is in Canada.
Thank you for confirming.
It's the first time that WrestleMania has gone outside of the United States. Obviously, still in North America. I mean, they've never gone outside North America for a WrestleMania. Hopefully, that will change in the next few years. Come on, bring it to London.
Oh, yeah.
Attendance on the night, 67,678.
Okay.
And the tagline was The Ultimate Challenge.
Oh, I see what they did there. Oh.
Buy rate, not as good as the year before, but still pretty good, 560,000.
Okay.
So that's still a very good turnout for this time period.
Mm-hmm.
What did you know, or did you have any knowledge? I know you're going to say, I can barely remember what I did last night.
No, 100% nada. Nothing.
Not a thing.
Nope.
So
not
even
a sausage.
So even when you saw it was called the Ultimate Challenge, that didn't kind of tip you off to...
Of course, I'm not that clever.
No, hey. Look.
But also, what I've started doing, when I find these things on the network, I press play as soon as possible and don't read, because it gives you a blurb.
Yes,
and
it
I'm
does.
like, I like the element of surprise.
Yeah.
I don't want to read what's happening, so I didn't even have a clue.
Okay. I won't ask for your overall take on it, because obviously we'll get to that later on.
Oh, yes.
But my opening statement for this, and I did mention this to you yesterday, I think, was that out of the WrestleManias we've seen so far, this has probably been given that it was the longest as well, it didn't feel like that to me. It flowed quite nicely. Don't get me wrong, not everything on there was great, but not everything on any show is great, to be honest. I thought it worked really well, and I'll be honest, because obviously again, peeling the curtain back a little bit, we're recording this on a Friday, and normally
it's a Friday.
Yeah, we're normally doing our recording on a Saturday or Sunday, so we had less time to do it, and it's a longer show.
Yeah.
So I was concerned, given what my note-taking is like for how we do the format of this, I thought I might be in trouble here.
Yeah.
But I got this done in less sessions than some of the other ones, and I didn't feel like it was a slog.
Because you enjoyed it more.
Probably.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, like I said, there were things on here that I didn't care for. But there was some stuff on here that I really liked. Yeah. And that was nice. So that's a pleasing trend, and hopefully that will continue for the next few WrestleManias until we get to the shitters.
Okay.
That were 9 and 11.
Oh, good.
I was also talking to Jamie about the upcoming WrestleManias, and he said, when do you think Holly's going to give her first 5-star match in a Mania?
Ooh.
And I made a prediction.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you, because obviously that will influence it. And there's... at the WrestleMania prior to that, there's a really long match.
Oh, God.
I think it's quite good.
Oh, is it a 60-minute Iron Man match.
It is.
I know the match, but if you said to me, I'll give you £100 to name who's in it, I can't remember, but I watched some YouTube clip the other day which was like the best WrestleMania matches, and there was a 60 man, oh, that'd be nice, a 60-minute Iron Man match, and I was like, oh, okay.
Do you want me to say who they were?
I don't know. Part of me wants to... No.
You don't want me to say all...
I'll just say it, it's fine, I'll forget.
Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Thank you. That I knew it was Shawn Michaels, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Could Nay remember?
Yeah, our favourite Bret. And, what a lovely man.
Isn't he just?
Man. But for me, I think because of the length of it, you'll probably just...
Yeah, I'm going to struggle.
Yeah, and that was Jamie's prediction as well. So it'll be interesting to see when we get there how you take it. But obviously that's a little bit down the line.
I got to have chocolate and drink by then. Because I can drink again on Sunday too.
Oh, and that's a gift for all of us, I tell you.
Isn't it just? Because the notes will be really fucking weird again.
I don't know, the notes have been pretty good, to be fair, in this sabbatical you've taken from...
I know, right?
I mean, don't get me wrong, you're able to still socially drink, but, you know, the chocolate thing's just a complete no-no.
I know.
And I'm very grateful that you haven't tried to give up about 3 or 4 things, because when you did that a couple of years ago...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you were not in a good place. You were not in a good place, and I was scared for my well-being at the time. So, interesting fact here, that this is the first and only WrestleMania venue that I've actually been to in person.
That's a very interesting fact.
Yes. You said that like it was sarcastic. No, I felt like your face...
And my face tells you that it was true.
Yeah, I've been to the Toronto Skydome. Okay. I watched the Blue Jays take on the Phillies.
Nice.
Baseball, really good. Love watching a bit of baseball live. It's a nice atmosphere.
Very nice.
And as I sat there, I looked at my future wife and I said, do you know WrestleMania 6 was here?
Oh my God, did she roll her eyes?
She went, oh really? I was kind of looking around, because sometimes she's interested in aspects of my life. And I said, yeah. And I said, so right down there, it was Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. And she went,
you lost it.
That must have been cool. And then I was just like, that's where I stopped. Because anymore...
You could tell that the shutters were coming down.
Yeah, the next sentence would have been, oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah. All right.
A Holly classic.
Okay.
Yeah, great. That's interesting. Or that's exciting.
Yeah, I like that. Those are my favourite go-tos, those are.
So yeah, it's the only one that I've been to in person. It's a nice stadium too. I really quite enjoyed it.
It looks big.
It is big.
It looks, from the, I don't know if, again, lighting, I don't know. But when I saw it start, I was like, oh, this is much bigger than the last one.
It's, I mean, obviously WrestleMania 3 at the Pontiac Silverdome is the biggest arena they've been to.
Yeah.
This is the next biggest one they've been to so far in this series of WrestleManias that we've seen.
Nice.
I don't know what because they were talking about it's the biggest attendance that's ever been had in that arena, and I was starting to think that can't be right. But then I thought, of course, because of the floor seats, you can get more people in there.
Whereas normal events, there wouldn't be floor seats.
Exactly, because it's baseball field. Yeah. But again, with the WWF or WWE, whichever one you want to say, it's difficult to tell when they're trying to just pull fast ones. To be honest, so they still could be exaggerating.
Just take it with a pinch of salt.
Basically, yeah, but the number seemed reasonable. It looked like it wasn't absolutely rammed higher up in the bleachers, because I felt like I could see a lot of the blue seats.
Right, okay.
Which is the standard colour of the seats for the stadium, which I can vouch for because I've been there in person. Might have mentioned it already. But yeah, so I thought I might as well get that in, because it's the only time I'll be able to say that, at least, unless that changes anytime soon. We see a starry sky and get the insane ramblings of a lunatic known as Vince McMahon. Upon the examination of the galaxies of space, images begin to appear. Images of strange and powerful forces. But of all the forces in the universe, the two most powerful, Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior, prepare to explode.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
Tell me that isn't how he does that.
Why do you not warn me before you do that?
Because the reaction is everything.
Honestly crying.
Yeah, she is actually crying.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, wow.
Champion versus champion. Title for title. It's the ultimate challenge. It's WrestleMania.
I can't.
Has that broken you already?
That's so good.
I don't think it actually necessarily sounds particularly like him,
brilliant.
But that's kind of the timbre that he has in his voice when he does it.
Can you answer me a question?
Yeah.
Have you been practising that at home?
Not once.
You've just asked off the cuff.
Off the cuff, yeah. I wrote down what he said, but it was only... Do you know what? I put... If I think there's a chance I might try and do an impression, I put it in quotation marks. So I don't know.
There's a few, I hope, coming throughout this show, I'll be honest.
There may be. There may be a Warrior one at some point. But that one I wasn't planning on doing. I was just going to read what was said there.
Okay,
So,
well, thanks for that treat.
No, it's all right. That's what I'm here for.
Oh my God, wow.
Apologies for anyone's ears, but hopefully you at least enjoyed
that
it.
was so funny.
Again, I'm not trying to pretend that I'm very good at impressions. It's just, it amuses you, which
It really
amuses
does.
me. So,
It really does. Whew.
So that's basically the opening intro package there. And I feel like we can end the show there, to be honest. I mean, that's probably the highlight of it. Also, though, we get constellations begin grappling with each other. We see like the Ultimate Warrior made out of stars, Hogan made out of stars. They collide, and this is the first time. So from the WrestleMania monologues that we've been putting at the start of these shows, this is the first time, and I think the only time that they use. Well, not the only time, but the first time they use that WrestleMania music.
Oh, okay.
So what I've been putting under the voiceover bit. This is it.
Yeah,
This is the first time it starts.
Huh.
And it's the best music for WrestleMania. Every WrestleMania should have this. I don't want to hear what The Weeknd's latest single is. Nothing against The Weeknd. I don't need it.
No,
not in
you're not a
WrestleMania.
fan.
No. Do you know what? Some of the music is fine, but I don't need that to be associated with wrestling.
Okay.
For me personally. Personal preference. There might be some that disagree with me. Probably a lot that disagree with me, to be fair, but it is what it is.
No, surely not.
No, they always keep their opinions to themselves. We hear Gorilla, who welcomes us to the Skydome and confirms this will be the greatest wrestling extravaganza of all time. All his words. He's not flubbed any of it.
And do you know what? There's no drinking game.
I know.
He doesn't say it once.
I know.
I was livid.
But Gorilla, I need to know, is this a happening or not?
I literally was like, I can't even say drink at any point in this.
I need to know if it's going to be a happening.
Yeah.
I can't function unless I know it's a happening.
I know.
I'll maybe put a happening in there at some point. I don't think I have, but I will just put it in there for shits and giggles. A clean-shaven Jesse...
Honestly, I'm so sad.
I know. is wearing his tamest outfit to date.
Oh my God, this is exactly what I put. Jesse's outfit, ridiculously tame. I miss his tash.
Yep.
Oh.
Tie-dyed t-shirt and pink blazer for the body, and magnificent red tux from Monsoon. Monsoon's still pulling out all the stops.
Isn't he?
So I did. Do you remember I told you about how his son was the
Yes.
referee and he passed away? I actually did a little bit of follow-up research on that.
Oh, okay.
So, and his son did die before Gorilla did. So his son was only 31 when he died in the car crash, and he was driving. He'd finished doing some TV tapings, doing referee duty. Was driving, fell asleep at the wheel. He had a manager in the car with him who you haven't seen yet, but Harvey Whippleman, who was in the car with him, fell asleep, hit a guardrail, hit a tree. He wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Harvey was very injured from it, and from a story I read about it, Harvey just kept saying to him, "Are you alive? Are you alive? Are you alive?" And obviously there was no response because he was dead. And that was 5 years before Gorilla died. So Gorilla died in 99.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
Yeah, really sad, isn't it? I think Gorilla died from diabetes complications.
Jeez.
After he transitioned away from being the commentator, because he did it for quite a while. Like I said, after Jess goes, we get Heenan with him, which is just perfection.
Okay.
He then starts to just transition to like a backstage kind of role, but you see him come out and do various bits. You know, when you see agents come out and do stuff, Gorilla kind of falls into that category. But yeah, just thought I'd give you a bit more information on what I mentioned before. It's sad, but yeah, I thought you'd be interested to know.
Always.
We then see the crowd and briefly spy a man wearing both a tux and Warrior face paint. My God. Robert Goulet is introduced by The Fink, and he sings the Canadian national anthem.
Yeah, I weirdly clearly wasn't paying enough attention, because I was like, oh, because I'm so used to hearing the US national anthem.
Oh yeah, I guess.
I was like, hang on, and then my brain went, come on, catch up. We're in Canada now.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, yeah, of course.
Is interesting because one of the performers on the show doesn't really pay any heed to the fact that they're not in America and their shtick doesn't quite land the same way. But yes, so Robert Goulet, a marked improvement, some would say, to what we might have heard at the previous WrestleMania. And then after I mentioned about the guy in the tuxedo and the Warrior paint, there's three of them.
Oh yeah.
All sat front row.
Yeah. Of course.
There's a commitment there. Or they should be committed. But why? Because if I'm going to an event like that, They think face paint, even that I'm like, no, I'd rather
No.
not, to be honest. But they go, no, full on tuxedo. It looked like a load of Sean Mooney's.
Well, maybe
just
they were
rocks up
also
front
doing
row.
a mix of they're paying homage to Ted DiBiase from the neck down.
No, because they had actual shirts on, not the
Oh, it wasn't the tearaway stripper
ones.
shirt.
Mm,
Balls, okay.
yeah. So I put, oh my god, there are 3 or 4 of these tuxedoed freaks.
Oh,
No, not are. They made that
having a
decision.
nice time.
They didn't even look like they were. They were just
Oh.
sat there. They look. What was weird was you'd expect these kind of people to be going nuts, and you go, fair enough, like you said, they're having
Yeah.
a nice time. But they just sat there, looked like they sat on their hands the entire
They've
time.
got like a formal dinner afterwards, so they wash their face and they're already in their tux.
I see no flicker of emotion from these lads.
Oh.
I know, you know, each to their own. Straight into the first match.
Yes,
Coco Beware, with Frankie, of course,
of course.
versus, and how do you feel about this, Rick the Model Martel.
Yeah. Not happy.
With the atomizer of arrogance that he...
not happy about this.
Are you still upset of what he did to our boy Tito?
Livid.
Mm.
Livid.
What do you think of the character, though?
Clever.
Yeah?
Clever, but it does come a little bit close for me to the mark of rude.
Really?
Like, to me, they're just the same character.
Oh, I don't see that.
No, I think
No.
I'm just bitter, I'll be honest.
Rude, don't get me wrong, knows that he's good looking, but I don't
Oh,
think he
yeah.
ever claims to be
Yeah.
a model. I understand how
Yeah.
you've drawn...
It would make more sense if he did over Martel, if I'm honest.
I don't know,
but-
Martel's not an ugly man.
Sure.
Oh, you
No,
think
I'm not
he's
saying he's ugly.
Okay,
like,
well-
no, he's just not.
But you're not a big fan of Rude.
No, well, we'll
The-
wait till
well,
we get here.
yeah.
Wait till we get back to that later.
Yes, I knew this was coming. When I saw the wettened hair, I thought this might be coming.
I was very happy though that these motorised compartments are back.
Motorised compartments.
I don't know what to call them.
Mini rings.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure,
Fine.
thanks, cheers. So, again, as they started coming to the ring, I
Yeah.
noticed the motorised rings, and it was Coco that came out first.
Yeah.
And I actually thought I heard Finkel say, coming to the ring with a Twinkie,
Oh.
with Frankie.
Oh,
But
you
it just
heard
said,
it.
coming to the ring with a Twinkie. I was like, what the... So I just imagine Coco's just going to be there, tucking away into a little
I don't think
sponge-filled cream. No, cream-filled sponge. Sponge-filled cream.
Sponge-filled cream.
Oh, how'd that
wouldn't
work?
work?
Wouldn't you? No,
No.
that's an actual impossibility unless you set
No.
the cream. How have you ever had a Twinkie?
No, because I'm not a big cream fan. Am
Oh
I?
yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that rules out eclairs, etc.
I hate eclairs. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of eclairs.
Anything like profiteroles,
Don't care for
anything
them.
that's filled with. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it because it just sounds wrong.
No, so say
People don't need to know about my eating habits.
that's
It's
fine. It's, you don't like cream.
No, I don't.
You don't like eclairs. Don't like what are the other things? Profiteroles.
Yeah.
Cream pies. None of them. Don't like any of that.
I don't want a cream pie.
Here we see the lesser-known French-Canadian poodle. No, sorry, that's actually Rick Martel under that hair.
Yep.
Sweater tied over his shoulders and a canister of arrogance.
Mm.
He has sure changed since last year.
Hasn't he just?
As Coco's getting patted down by the ref, the model pounces and unloads with right hands. Corner whip confusion, and after Coco, it's like
Lukaku.
I'm
It's a
pretty sure.
footballer,
Yeah, I was
isn't
going to
it?
say, yeah. Corner whip confusion, and after Coco gets the boot up, more confusion as Martel no-sells it.
Mm-hmm.
There was something not
Nothing
quite,
didn't. Yeah.
wasn't landing.
Nope.
Second corner whip sees Coco do a second rope springboard crossbody for a near fall. 2 drop kicks follow. Backdrop and clothesline sends Martel to the floor.
I was cheering on Birdman at this point.
You're a big fan of Coco.
I actually really am. I really am. Also because I'm so angry at Martel.
Still.
Yes.
Brilliant. Coco's flapping his arms like a child on their bunk bed, ready to take flight.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Slingshot back into the ring, which we're a fan of.
Do like that.
Shoulder tackle, but the model sent him to the floor right after.
Yep.
Frankie has a look on his face like he wants to fuck some shit up as Martel taunts.
Now I have a point here, and I don't know if it's wrong.
Okay.
Martel
Yes,
is Canadian.
he is.
Again, a lot of boos for being Canadian here.
See, this is the era, though, where heels were heels
Yes.
and faces were faces.
Oh yeah, I'll be honest. I would boo him too.
Yes, well,
I'm not Canadian,
you
but...
do boo him.
Yes,
I can
I
imagine
do.
you
I
sitting
do,
there and you
actually.
see him going, boo.
Yeah, I do.
For no one's benefit other than your own amusement.
It makes me happy.
And that's the main thing. That's all we can ask for. But yeah, you raise a good point.
Yeah.
The only time it comes close to not being that way is what I slightly referenced earlier about the patriotism not landing right, which we'll obviously go into more detail when we get to that part of the show. But yeah, which is quite refreshing, because I don't mind, people these days, cheering who you like and booing who you don't like. That's fine. But it also makes it a lot cleaner to know that the good guys are going to get cheered, the bad guys are going to get booed, rather than the shades of grey. It's just it's more simple for your brain to take in.
Yes, my little brain.
Not your brain specifically.
No, I'll take it.
One's brain.
Yeah.
So after that Frankie look, back first into the apron goes Coco. Back in the ring, and a Martel suplex gets a count of 2. Jess claims he had a whole floor in the hotel attached to the Skydome. Is that impressive? Because you can only sleep in one room.
Well, he's got the whole floor. He's got a lot of kids. Maybe he brought them all.
Tyrell and Jade.
He didn't shout them out, I don't think, did he?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, he asks Gorilla to say hello to them.
Yes, he does. Oh, I've got it noted.
Okay.
Don't you worry. But yeah, I don't think that's impressive.
Okay.
Like, if you got the penthouse, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm interested.
Oh, yeah, you don't need, 10 rooms. Just
that's
have
what
the
I mean.
penthouse, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Idiot.
Oh.
Seriously? No,
leave
come
him
on,
alone.
that's a stupid thing to say. Say you had the penthouse.
Leave him alone.
No, I will not leave him alone. If you come up with stupid things, anyone's fair game. Even the ones I like.
Okay.
Okay? You look worried when I said that.
I do.
Series of clubbing blows to the back by the model, including a second rope axe handle to the spine. Backbreaker by Martel, who looks to apply the Boston Crab, but Coco struggles his way to the ropes. Face full of buckles goes the Birdman, but no, this doesn't work. Now it's Martel's turn. Flurry of jabs and a boot to the face on an early duck by Coco. Flaps his arms before 2 flying headbutts. I think that's what we're calling these.
That go nowhere near.
They're called flying... They're supposed to be flying headbutts, but they're flying face pushers.
Yes.
But, let's not ruin the magic. Let's pretend we're in Disneyland, people.
I've literally just put flying headbutt, but I don't think his head is anywhere near where it needs to be, and Martel just lies down.
Okay. Martel sells on an invisible third.
Yes, he does.
He just goes...
He just lies down, doesn't he?
But I don't know if that's him being like I'm dazed,
and
I'm
then
going down
like a
again.
Delayed fall down type thing.
Or if that was just a miscommunication that actually worked out quite well.
It just made me chuckle.
Because it looked funny, but for the right reason.
Yes.
Not for that's so stupid.
It was funny.
So after he sells that, a second rope springboard crossbody misses, although he did just catch the model's back because of the way that Rick dropped down. But he didn't sell it because it wasn't supposed to hit. He sold the thing that didn't hit. After taking a moment to congratulate himself, Martel applies the Boston Crab, and this one is over as Coco submits.
Isn't it just?
What, Holly, pray tell, did you score this match?
1.25 out of 5. I've gone very specific on some of these now. I'm not even doing half points anymore. We're doing like...
Well, you can, because 1.5 is still a...
But I'm doing like specifics now.
Okay.
But 1.25.
2. 2 stars from Big Dave.
Sorry, Dave. Don't agree.
Okay. I'm trying to think what I thought of this at the time. I probably would... You said 1.25?
Yeah.
No, I'd go higher than that. I think
Okay.
I'd probably go 1.5.
I was very angry though.
Why? Oh, because
Let's
Martel.
factor this in.
Just
My
because
emotions get the better of me with things like this.
said no woman ever. But 1.7...
At least I admit it.
That's true. That is true. Because I am a very bitter and vindictive person, but don't like to admit it myself. 2 stars felt like generous. Maybe Dave was on the silly juice.
Maybe.
For the... Oh, I'm trying to think, actually.
This will be the... I've said this every time, but this will be the WrestleMania where I'm pretty sure we're so out of kilter. Me and
I think you'd be
me and my
surprised.
mate Dave.
I think you'd be surprised.
Gosh.
From there, we see Mean Gene interview the Colossal Connection.
But that's not what he calls them.
Mean Gene introduces us to the Colostomy Collection, deadpan because he is fucking incredible.
Yes.
Heenan asks him to repeat himself. Gene says the Colossal Connection and argues he said anything wrong in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
The Brain is holding Andre's tag team title because the poor bastard would probably fall over if he was wearing it.
Andre, though, I made a point. I made a point of saying he just actually looks happy here.
He's smiling.
He looks happy to me.
Yeah, I mean, but he is propping himself up on
Oh, yeah.
Haku, and is genuinely a sad sight to see.
I know.
I think it's like really sad. The champ then flub their lines where they're trying to talk in unison, and it doesn't end in like, I don't know what they were doing, but you hear Haku kind of mumbling, and Andre's like, "Ah!" Like just over the top of him. You're like, I don't know what. Apologies for the Zoidberg orgasm noise there that I made, but that's pretty much it. But yeah, Andre's literally the whole time propping himself up on Haku, and we may see that play into the match.
Yes.
We now get Sean Mooney, who's going to interview Demolition.
Oh yeah, that's painful.
Mooney has immaculate late 80s, early 90s Lego hair here, and Smash has matron face.
The hell is
matron.
Oh.
Kenneth Williams.
Yes.
You see, like every so often you look at him, he goes,
"Oh, I see."
Like the whole time.
Obviously, no one can just see what I saw, but it was brilliant. Just give it a Google.
Yeah, Google his face, and you'll know exactly what I mean. He's excited to be here. Yeah. I think it's fair to say.
I just put, "This is too much. This is too odd." I'm not making notes.
Thanks for that. So I guess I'll take over
just
again.
On the promo part of it,
I
I can't.
Demolition without glitter this year due to budgetary cuts to Stringfellows. A marked improvement.
Yes.
I say that.
Small?
No, I say there's no glitter. I may notice it by the time they get to the ring, but for this bit I didn't notice it, so I'm taking that as a win. Axe says he's called that because he can cut down the biggest of trees. I guess that makes Smash a fan of powdered mashed potato, breaking crockery, or a horn dog.
Or banging.
That's what I meant by horn dog.
Oh, is that what that?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
A horn dog?
Yeah.
He's a horny dog. He's a horn dog.
Never heard that before.
Oh,
learn something new every day.
There you go.
What do you mean?
Every
that surprises you?
What do you mean? I don't know. Every day's a school day.
I'll let it pass for now.
Perhaps all three. You know, he might not just be the one. He could be three. Oh, actually, he explains he wants to put them in a flatbed and drive them off a cliff to kill them. Okay. So that's gone up a few levels, hasn't it?
He's taken a turn.
So Axe makes a pun that he can cut down any big tree, and Smasher says, "I would like to murder them, please."
Jesus.
And from the wreckages of that, they will design and forge new tag team titles. I don't think it's necessary. I think if you just beat them in the ring, you'll probably get that. I don't think you need to commit double homicide. If all wrestlers didn't follow that idea of life too soon. Bad man is what I'm saying. Bad man. But anyway, it turns out he didn't need a flatbed to kill anyone because they just had a wrestling match. And here we go. Oh, what have I put here?
What have you put?
Oh, okay. So after that bit where I said that they're going to reforge title belts out of the wreckage of the car.
Yes.
I put dark. But what it looks like I've written is dork.
Dork.
Yeah. So I'm sticking with dork. We have the match.
Don't we just?
I say the match. The Colossal Connection with Bobby the Brain Heenan versus Demolition for the WWF Tag Team titles.
Yes.
Now, an interesting point on this one is that there's only 2 title matches in the entire show.
I know.
And this one comes second match in.
Yeah, early doors.
I wonder why. I felt like this probably should have gone later if it was me.
I'll be honest. Fine, put it now.
No, again, like it doesn't really matter too much, but it felt like then...
I know what you mean, it's a bit early, isn't it?
Yeah, it felt like they could have just put it towards the middle of the show somewhere, maybe. Because
mid-card it.
I don't think it would have made much difference, but obviously there was a reason why they did that.
Maybe they had plans after.
Well,
dinner plans.
Andre always has dinner plans. That's a man who knows he knows where he's going to eat, when he's going to eat, how much he's going to eat.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm
very...
I don't wish I was Andre the Giant, but I mean... Someone who of that size, who you kind of need a certain amount of food to just sustain that kind of mass. Not a religious thing, just the word I chose to use there. So, oh dear, Jobber's entrance for the tag team champions.
Yes.
That's wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah.
It's so wrong. And also, they're out first, aren't they?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Why?
I know it really annoys you, doesn't it?
But I'm thinking. Maybe they were trying to hide the blushes of Andre and his lack of manoeuvrability.
Maybe.
By having them go in first, no fanfare with the music.
Yeah, maybe they can kind of cause a distraction type thing while they get Andre in and out of the
Basically. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, and I've even put that as my comment here, which I forgot I'd done, to be fair. It's a great reception for Demolition, but
Yeah.
god damn it, I see glitter on their fucking chests again. Awful.
Oh, they've had a bit of a glitter spray.
They
before
might
they've
have
gone
even
to the
had
ring.
it in the promo, to be fair, and I just
Just the light.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
just didn't spot it. The Connection leap into action early, and we see Andre headbutt Axe to the floor.
Yeah.
This is, again, Andre, since his match with Hogan at Mania, the Mania matches we've seen him in, he's immediately out the gate, throwing a headbutt.
Yeah.
That's all the excitement we're getting from him. And I'm pretty sure, I put here now, if my memory serves me correctly, this will be the last of his in-ring output during this match.
Oh.
It's not miles off the truth.
No, it's not miles off, actually.
Because he never gets an official tag. And again,
Oh, yeah.
that is to just hide his lack
Yeah.
of ability to kind of get around. And it's sad because I know that the WWF wanted him to step away, but it was Andre. They weren't forcing him to come out. It was Andre that wanted to keep doing this because he just loved it so much. And it's kind of nice, but again, I've referenced this in previous episodes, not specifically to do with Andre, but if these people can't stop themselves, someone has to stop them. And eventually they did stop Andre. So this is Andre's last WrestleMania match. He appears exactly. Yeah, he appears at the next Mania for sure, but this is his last in-ring output.
Oh wow!
Which is sad because I felt like we've had quite a journey with Andre.
We have.
And granted, the matches haven't been the best, but it's fun to see.
It's interesting, yeah.
It's fun to see like a wrestling icon of Andre's stature and status compete. So I will be a little bit sad that we don't see him have matches anymore, but. When you see this match, you kind of understand why, and it's probably overdue as well, to be fair, by a few years. To be fair, you could argue that probably the Hulk match at 3 probably should have been the last one. So, once we've seen that, Axe is headbutted to the floor. Haku and Smash start. So, Smash reverses a whip and unloads with a series of right hands. Axe is tagged in, and he clubs away on Haku before screaming in Andre's direction. He's quite a scary dude, you know, Axe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Smash kind of comes across as a bit more goofy,
Yeah.
which is funny because he turns into the Repo Man down the line. But Axe just looks like a absolute hoss. He's even got the gravelly voice for it as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, true.
Andre comes into the ring, kind of, and he looks like he's walking on hot Lego, is what I put here.
Okay.
And could fall down at any moment.
Yeah.
It's just the way his...
I know, it's just unstable.
Really unstable. I can tell you're so hesitant to say anything
I
negative.
just can't. I can't. As much as it's poor, I just can't because I feel bad.
Well, I feel bad, but at the same time, like I said, all the comments and jokes we make are done tongue in cheek.
I know.
We're not here to hurt
This
anyone.
one just hurts.
It does.
Weirdly.
It does. It feels. You're right. It
Feels
hits.
sad.
It hits a bit different. I'll give you that, but that will not stop me. So Smash applies. Hang on a sec. Oh, he looks like he'll fall down at any moment. Smash applies a neck crank on Haku and proceeds to scream more than the man in the hold, which I thought was weird.
Yes, that is a bit strange.
Axe and Smash make quick tags as they throw rights at Haku. Wise thumb to the eye, though, on Smash. Reversal of a hip toss, and Smash looks for a backslide, which leads to a test of wills. They can't work out who's going to get the better of it, who's going to win. Eventually, the backslide works, but Andre staggers over and attempts a kick to break it up, because I'm not calling it a kick.
No.
Axe back in, and he gets a big thrust chop to the windpipe, and I thought you might laugh at my choice of wording for that, but you haven't, so that's fine.
No.
Haku unloads with overhand chops. Impressive backbreaker to the big man before a 2 count.
Yeah, I did like that.
Yeah. Haku lands a thrust kick and gunt stomp.
Oh, that's what it is, a thrust kick.
Yeah, because it's not quite a super kick.
Oh, okay.
Because there's more thrust.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. Haku chokes Axe over the bottom rope before hilarious bitch slap by Heenan, which really tickled me.
Oh, as Jesse refers to it as a love tap.
Love tap.
I mean...
And you went to a different place?
Yep.
Yeah. Where did your brain take you?
No, we're not going there.
Okay.
We're not going there.
Not yet.
Just let me enjoy my time with Jesse. It's my last one.
I'm not stopping you enjoying your time with Jesse.
It's the last one.
I'm not twat blocking this experience for you. Andre then headbutts from the apron. Delayed 2 count and Heenan complains. And it is a delayed 2 count, to be fair.
Isn't it just?
Axe tries to fire back, but Andre grabs him so Haku can strike. Another headbutt off the Giant as Monsu says, "What a weapon!" 2 count from Haku before a thrust kick again.
Hey.
More choking from Haku before another thumb to the eye quells a comeback. Quells.
Oh, that's a fancy word.
I know, I was feeling a bit fancy. Snapmare, Mongolian chops, and the ever-dreaded double trap hold.
Oh, yes. And I've just put that Haku is doing all of the work of a tag team here, which
Exactly.
I totally understand, but I think kudos to him, because actually it looks, do you know what I mean, it looks effectively believable.
It's not a short match either.
No.
Axe moves to his corner, but Haku throws a thrust kick towards Smash to kind of fend him off. Andre chokes Axe with the tag rope as Smash continues to come into the ring.
Yeah.
Haku chops the hamstring. Not seen that before.
No.
Shoulder breaker gets 2.
Nice.
We don't see shoulder breakers anymore, do we?
No.
Interestingly, that was The Rock's original finishing move in the WWF.
Oh, really?
Yep, when he came in as Rocky Maivia.
Ah.
Axe gets the boot up on a corner charge and connects with a following clothesline. Smash gets the tag and hits a big right and back elbow before a backdrop.
The crowd are very happy that he's in at this
yes,
point.
they are. Crap crossbody and a right hand thwarts an interfering giant. It was crap.
Yeah.
Axe clotheslines Haku and a double clothesline to Andre. The crowd are wild, so I've put it down here.
Yes,
really
so
good for
loud.
Demolition, which is great. Andre grabs Smash, but Haku accidentally hits a thrust kick on Andre, tying him up. Classic Andre spot.
Standard.
Demolition with a second rope backbreaker, and this one is over.
Isn't it
We have new
just?
WWF Tag Team Champions.
Nice. Good.
Thoughts, Holly?
Well, my point that I really struggled to score this one, just because I feel bad. And actually, the match itself wasn't actually that bad.
Use whatever criteria you want, though.
So actually, I gave it more than the first one.
Fuck me. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I gave it a 1.5, but I feel like the crowd had a massive part to play in that because they were alive.
Yeah, they were.
And also, I feel like I'm just giving kudos to this poor guy that's done the work of 2 people here.
Yeah, Haku does deserve credit because he did all the leg work.
Yeah.
He was very much the workhorse in this one, which understandable for many reasons.
Yeah.
I think what held it back for me a little bit was I thought the match was too long.
It could have done with being a bit shorter, for sure.
But I guess they were kind of showing that to the point of Haku was just being worn down and
Yes.
just didn't have anything left come the end after the miscommunication.
But also have the match be shorter because we know what comes after it. Like, we don't need the length of the match followed by that,
Yeah, okay.
in my opinion. But I just
So you
thought
said
it was
1.5.
1.5. I know it's a bit generous, but I'm giving a lot of kudos here.
I give it 1.5, but that's slightly less than the first match for me because I gave it 1.75. Big Dave, 2 stars. Andre's final match,
Jesus.
2 stars, which I
Okay.
think, is that his
That's
highest WrestleMania
Tres-
score for an Andre match?
Trez generous.
Yeah, but obviously Andre wasn't the deciding factor in that
No.
decision for that score. But yeah, so I still think I suspect that Dave might have been on the silly juice, as I said earlier, for this one.
Best way to be.
Well, quite. Heenan goes nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Heenan is going mental at Andre, poking a finger into his meaty chest. Andre signals he was kicked, which is true. Also, fair fucks on Haku for getting his leg that high.
I know.
The Brain slaps the Giant, whose face immediately changes, and this is where
Funny.
Holly goes, I'm scared.
He does have that, like, we've seen the clip that I commented on before, and he's formidable when he looks like this.
I'll be honest, when that face
Creepy.
changes, I went, I get it.
Yeah.
I get what you were saying.
Yes.
Because he's kind of like, oh no, and then the slap, it's like,
Boom. Yeah.
don't do that to me
Uh-huh.
ever. Which was great. From there, Andre then throws 3 slaps at Heenan. The second one misses by approximately 2 feet.
Doesn't it just?
Right hand drops the Brain. He's then kicked to the floor. Haku throws a kick, but Andre catches a toe, and I do mean just a toe, and throws chops and a headbutt. Andre clears the ring cart of Heenan and Haku,
That I thought was funny.
which was brilliant. And then he rides back alone, and the
Yeah.
crowd are very, very happy. Nice send-off for
Isn't
the
it?
Giant.
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Yes.
It shows him leaving the Heenan family, because up until that point, the teaser had been that Haku was unhappy with being in the Heenan family, feeling like he was doing all the work. So they were teasing that Haku was going to be the one to leave. And obviously they did this switcheroo to make it be Andre. We see Heenan later on in the night with another one of his charges,
Yes.
and Haku goes on to be a tag team with that person,
okay.
so Haku and the Barbarian.
Makes
which,
sense.
as you look at them visibly, you can kind of see
Yeah.
them working as a tag team, and that's what Haku transitioned into going forward. Oh, baby, I'm excited for this one.
Oh.
Mean Gene interviews Earthquake. Look at this sweaty buffoon bouncing like a baby.
Why can't he stand still?
Because he's an earthquake.
Oh, God.
Ridiculous sight in that blue singlet. Holly, do you know how old Earthquake is here?
No, but I know when he died. Oh my God, why have I done
What's
that?
your guess?
It's going to be like that other guy, isn't it?
I actually don't know who you mean, so you're going to need to
Who's
give
the
me...
guy from, was it WrestleMania 1 or 2, the big guy? You referenced to him as being
King
a
Kong,
potato.
King
Bundy.
Kong Bundy. King Kong omelette.
Yes. An egg, not a potato.
He was
sorry.
29, wasn't he then, or something?
Yeah, so I'm going to go... Oh, fuck it. 32.
Yeah, 26.
Sweet Jesus.
I know. If you ever feel
Fucking
like you've had a
hell.
bad day, look at poor old John Tenter.
Gosh. But he did pass away when he was 42.
He did, yes.
That's sad.
That is nothing short of sensational, that age. Stunning. I am now done with ages. Because ages
Okay.
mean nothing to me
Yeah.
anymore after
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Jimmy Hart is talking about seismologists. What is it with the WWF and fucking seismologists? Every WrestleMania, like Hulk Hogan's talking about slamming thing. The seismologists are there to measure the Richter scale for
I
Donald Trump's
see.
Trump Plaza.
Oh, yeah, so I've just put another person talking about buildings crashing down.
Yeah,
Heard it before.
when it hurts
It's
inside.
done. I'm done. Like, heard it before.
Earthquake then talks about himself as though he is a literal earthquake. Sweat and spit everywhere. Just mad.
Yes.
So, your first thoughts on Earthquake? So I assume that's the first time that you've seen him.
Grim.
He's down there somewhere on my
Grim.
collection. Bless him. 26. I mean, I don't like my hairline, but it could be worse, is what we're saying. We now get to see him in action.
Yes, before we get there, can I just talk to you about something?
Of course. Is this podcast related?
Yes,
'Cause that
it
sounded
is.
very serious.
So I watched, I've actually noted down when I was watching this. So behind the curtain of my life, when I like get ready for bed and stuff,
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I tend to put on like YouTube like
Yeah, fair.
clips and
Fair.
stuff. And I watched one, and it was all about wrestling moments you don't want to see. And I was like, oh, I'm nosy. I like to see these. And one of them was Roddy Piper. Right. I'll be very careful how I word this. But oh, have you got this already? Sorry if I ruined your order.
No, I think it's right
Yeah,
there. So I can...
I'll blab and you can
I've got
find your notes. And it was him painted, half and just not. And I was like, that's weird. And then they were like, oh, this is in WrestleMania 6. It's removed from the network. Everything is... And I was like, what in fuck's name is this? And I just wanted to ask you about it because I was
Yes,
like, what the
so
fuck?
it was a match that was at WrestleMania 6. So I've seen the match because at one point it wasn't removed from the network. Obviously, I didn't see it in this iteration, so I bypassed it in the
Of
running
course,
order.
yeah.
But I've referenced it at the tail end. So I
Uh-huh.
said, story time. I said,
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. So basically, yes. A lot of the stuff that Roddy Piper has said, we touched upon it with Mr. T, and it's a lot borderline questionable things that you can't get away with saying. And, I'm not talking about distinguishing the individual from the character, whether that was... I reckon that's probably him thinking this will get a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon that's probably the extent of it rather than him actually being a racist. But this is hard to defend.
This was fucking awful when I saw it on the YouTube thing.
So what we're referring to is from head to toe, Hot Rod has painted one half of his body black, and obviously he's left the other side unpainted. And he keeps turning in the promo between one side and the other. And to reference, just before we kicked off the show, I said I'm going to get a picture up on my phone. I thought you might not have seen it, so I just got a load of clips of this thing, and I put it at the very end of the recording. So,
okay.
but no, not to, but yeah, you've basically landed on the exact part of the show where it appears, and it just doesn't play well because it's effectively blacking up.
Yeah.
So that's not going to fly. They took it off because the thing is, it's not like he just did it for the promo and then came out and had a match, because then they could have left the match in.
Yeah.
He's obviously wearing that for the match as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just very odd. And obviously Roddy Piper being Canadian, in Canada, lovely reaction for him when he comes out.
Because of him rather than what he's doing.
Yeah, and I don't think... Maybe this is naive of me, but me watching this as a youngster, I wouldn't have understood... I would have just thought he was lunatic.
Yeah.
Because Roddy Piper always played a bit of a psychotic kind of
Yeah.
not quite wired right
Unhinged.
individual. I wouldn't have thought, oh, he's doing that because, you know, Bad News Brown is black. That wouldn't have crossed my mind. So maybe that's naive of me.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much that would have played into the audience there. I'm sure the adults would have probably
100%.
cottoned on to it, to be fair. I mean, you know, even with it being wrestling. But yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
this is something that happened and has been removed.
So is this the first thing we come across that is removed from a WrestleMania? Because I know
That I'm
there's
aware
some
of.
moments that are removed later on, but they're only removed because of one person not being in them.
WrestleMania 20, I see what
Yeah.
you're talking about. That's a shame because I love that moment as
Yeah,
well.
that was on the thing that I was watching as well, actually. But that was on the best WrestleMania moments that then you obviously now can't see.
What I might say for that when we get to that WrestleMania is we just watch that clip on YouTube just to see it to take it in its moment, because it's a night. Granted, you know,
Of course.
what happened later down the line, but it's a lovely moment for that moment in a capsule, looking at it in a silo. But yes, you are correct.
Thank you.
That very
Just
much
wanted
happened.
to ask about it because I saw the clip and it explained it a little bit, and I was like, well, I'm not going to go digging around for info on that, but I thought I'd ask. So
Yeah, so this was the third match of the night, and I'd forgotten about it entirely until I started looking for Dave Meltzer's scores. And I saw that and went,
I see.
and then as soon as I saw the match, I didn't like the name of it.
Yeah.
Straight away, my brain went, of course.
Oh, I see.
This is it. Yeah, so I'd forgotten till the end, which is why I put my note there rather
Right.
than when it was.
Okay.
So having just seen the beautiful bouncing baby Earthquake,
Yes.
we now get to see him in the match
Oh, with my guy.
with your guy, old Hercules, Herc himself.
I
Hercules.
love this guy.
What is it about him that
I
you like?
don't. I think I've built with his character. We've watched him quite a few times.
Yeah, I mean, he's aging well. He's
Isn't he?
2004 now,
Yes,
so he's
I know.
he's put in the road miles, bless him.
Yeah.
Earthquake, of course, with everyone's least favourite Jimmy Hart.
Oh God.
Oh, that was I heard a
Honestly,
shiver go down your spine for
It
that.
just annoys me. What's the last thing we watched? ECW with that
Bill
div with the
Alfonso.
whistle. This guy diving a
Come on,
fucking
in, how you
loudspeaker.
doing? Come on.
Honestly.
Yeah. I don't know why I had to put a microphone or like a mega
Yeah,
speaker
yeah.
in front of my face
Yeah.
before I did that, but it felt natural, felt right.
Uh-huh.
And I also said, is this also the biggest age discrepancy in wrestling ever between these two men? Because
Oh.
Earthquake, we learnt, is 26, and Hercules is 2003, 2004.
Oh yeah, he's well
So
old,
he's got a couple
crazy, yeah.
thousand years on him.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
Earthquake's whole gimmick is sending opponents to the hospital, and so far apparently he's done 28
28 what? Opponents to
hospital trips.
Okay.
So what they're doing is, at the time, it was commonplace on WWE, they wouldn't have superstars go up against superstars, so they'd have like whoever they wanted to go up against, basically a jobber.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
they
Like
just-
a regional wrestler,
Exactly,
effectively.
or one of the people that they would frequently bring in,
Yeah.
like a Barry Horowitz, etc. And yeah,
Okay.
Earthquake's whole thing was crushing them. Earthquake actually has an interesting background, and I am going to tell you about that in a little bit. I can't remember if I actually kept some of that information on my phone.
Ooh,
So I'm going to have to, on the fly, bring up...
Oh, multitasking.
I'm going to do my best, but
Okay.
I'd be grateful if you could kind of help
Well-
fill in the gaps here.
Okay, so obviously we know I like Hercules.
Yes.
I didn't know it when I first saw him, but he's grown on me.
Yeah.
And my takeaway from this was that his hair is getting... We're kind of edging away slightly from the coiffed hair era.
It's more trimmed back, isn't
So
it?
his hair is smaller, traps just get bigger.
Yes.
And the chain. It's got a bigger chain this year too. Chain just
Are you
gets bigger.
sure?
No, I'm just going to say yes.
Okay, so his chain is thicker.
Chain's
He
thicker,
is
traps
thicker,
are thicker.
his hair
hair's
is not.
less coiffed.
He does look like quite an old guy though. There's something about his face that's like you could probably, you know, even when he was 24, he probably looked something like that already.
Well,
and
yeah, like that person explained to us probably why as well. But
exactly, because of the hormone imbalance, because of
For
steroids,
sure.
etc. So I get it. The ref tells Hercules to put the chain away,
Oh yeah,
which he does, and narrowly avoids a corner splash. Saw it coming in the nick of time.
get your chain out.
Well, quite. Southpaw jabs from Herc, but his corner whip is reversed. But he again avoids the splash,
Clever.
which is, yeah, like doing matador technique,
Yeah.
basically, against the rampaging bull. More jabs by Herc before he throws one at Jimmy Hart on the apron.
Good.
Yes.
Fucking good.
I agree. Earthquake takes a moment on the floor. Quake then shoves Herc and jumps in the ring, which is sold. So the tremors, basically.
Of course.
So he's jumping up and down, and it does make it, because of the way the ring is mic'd, it sounds quite good because it's the...
Yeah, it does sound like that's the thing.
But when they sell it, it just... Stop.
Yeah, I know.
Just stop. It's not a bouncy castle, lads. Come on.
I thought I've made a comment about the differences. So we know I have a problem with wrestling when like someone's like
Yeah, but if
6'5" and someone's
small,
4'3". But I've put the difference in size is stupid. But I think I've referenced size as in not height,
just
like
mass.
And I've put that. But there's a difference between strong and just big.
Very interesting point. So the reason why John Tenter, Earthquake, was kind of so quickly pushed out of the gates is because in this era in the WWF, what they were looking for, specifically what Vince was looking for Hogan, was just big guys for him to go up against.
Oh, really?
Because Hogan himself is, 6'6", 6'7", he's a big lad. So in order to... It doesn't have to be a muscly guy, just someone who's physically imposing, hence King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant.
Okay.
Who did he go up against WrestleMania 1? Well, technically that's a bit different because it was a tag team match, but you kind of get my point.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 4, again, he was looking for that. Around this era, Earthquake was a big one. They bring in someone later on and they turn him heel, Tugboat, who is also a big guy who becomes Typhoon and partners. You're just thinking
That's
Tugboat.
such a name.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
But this is basically the whole idea behind it.
So he just wanted some big guys in there.
Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Big guy. Undertaker. Big guy. All these guys feuded.
But he was like big stature, but he wasn't like big, was he?
Who are we talking about?
Undertaker. Like
Undertaker,
he was never
6'10".
overweight.
No, but he's a big guy. So again, it's one of the criteria. So big in terms of mass or big in terms of height will do it. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but Giant Gonzalez, who came in later down the line, if he had been properly around when Hogan was around, I guarantee you he would have had a match with Hogan and it would have been shit.
Right.
Because he was so tall.
Okay.
But yes, basically big guys get the push, and after WrestleMania, the feud going into SummerSlam is Hogan and Earthquake.
Okay.
I believe. So, yeah.
Okay.
Gorilla tells us that they've reinforced the ring. Okay.
Fine.
But they said they've had to do it for a few matches. I'm thinking, just one with the fatties is what I'm hearing. Test of strength between the two, which Quake breaks with a headbutt to the gut.
I don't like that.
Why?
It's not this match that really reins it in for me. This one I was just like, okay. There's one later where I'm literally like, you're just fucking holding hands. Like, there's no...
Works. In that environment, we're going to disagree on it. Because I
That's
don't
fine.
like it.
Yeah.
We see Quake has a bloody mouth. Well, I don't know where he got that.
No.
Which is where Hart must have put his finger earlier, because when Quake went to the outside, Hart just wipes some blood off him and goes, "Look, it make you bleeding, baby." And then I assume, so he must have just dipped his finger in Earthquake's mouth. That's fucking dangerous.
Yeah, that's grim.
Dangerous game with Earthquake. There was a story that I can't remember, I don't think it's a legitimate story, but what they were telling in wrestling law is that one time he pushed over a Pizza Hut delivery van and ate the entire content out the back of it.
I hope that's true.
This obviously isn't true.
No, but that's an epic story.
But that was the story that they told when he was later on as Earthquake. And as a kid, I was like, oh my god. I just believe
because you're a
that
kid,
to be,
obviously,
believe that to be true.
Love that.
And also, interesting fact, my boss at work, when he referred to me and Joel as two professional wrestlers, Earthquake was one that I was getting referenced as.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's rude.
Yeah, I know. I don't even think it's that fair. But,
no.
Yeah.
It's funny, but no.
Because I don't look like... I'm trying to think who out of those... Oh, there isn't really anyone, that's the thing. I would say, and I don't look like him, but if I had to say I look like one, the closest resemblance to one in WWE like now, it would be Kevin Owens, just because of the beard, short hair, not particularly in great shape, but okay. Right. But when he said Earthquake, I'll be honest, the arse fell out of me a little bit.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
like,
surprised.
Oh, okay, cheers. So, just to be clear, well, you guys, to be fair, if you're watching this on YouTube or anything like that, you've seen the actual drawing of us, which is a likeness, pretty good. Anyway, boring. I don't need to. This is therapy now. I've turned this into a therapy session, haven't I?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Back in the room. Right. Yeah, pull it back in. Eat your feelings, Scott. That's what I've been teaching myself.
Cry on the inside like a winner.
Yes, cry on the inside always like a winner. So, Holly.
Yeah.
Did you know that Earthquake was a legitimate sumo wrestler?
I'll be honest. I did have a Google.
You had a Google, yeah.
And I saw a photo of him Sumoing. Yeah.
Brilliant.
But that's it. I just saw the picture and I went, oh, okay.
So yeah, he was a big lad. Tenta moved to Japan to pursue a career in sumo after being recruited by former Yokozuna. So Yokozuna is like the highest rank in sumo wrestling. And sumo wrestling, even though from like a Western perspective, you look at it and it kind of looks a little bit comical, doesn't it? Like two big babies having to wrestle in nappies. But it's such a revered and honoured and time-traditioned, well-respected sport in Japan. They're looked up at as heroes. And like in terms of sumo wrestling in general, they're obviously big guys, but they are given specific diets by doctors to get to that size in a healthy way. So it's heavily rice, vegetables, lean meats, but just quantities that are ridiculous to get them to that size, which you might not have necessarily known. You look at them and think they're just at KFC every other day. Yeah. But also when you get to a certain size, it makes certain jobs difficult. Yes. And when you're a starting sumo wrestler, in that culture, you get kind of assigned as like a young boy, I'd say, to not literally in terms of age, but that's like the terminology that's used, to one of the higher ranking sumo wrestlers. Okay. And occasionally, if needed, you might have to wipe their ass because they can't. So that's probably where I would say, do you know what, lads? Not for me. Yeah. Had a lovely time having a little tussle with you, but I'm not wiping another man's ass. I don't think anyone should be doing that. Obviously there's needs must. If you can't reach something, you've got to come up with a solution somehow. But yeah, that doesn't really tie into John Tenta's, but I just thought I'd give you a little bit of information about sumo wrestling in general. Really nice, thank you. You can take that one. So yeah, basically this Yokozuna met him on a trip to Vancouver because Earthquake is Canadian as well. In October 1985 he joined Sumo Stable, and now, forgive me for my pronunciation, Sado Gatake, I'm going to say, run by former Yokozuna Kotazakura Masakatsu. His stable has also produced, and then it references other people, so basically Gaijin, which means non-native Japanese. Okay. There's a Bulgarian guy that also got recruited. So John Tenta began his career in that sport at the age of 22, which is... Bloody hell. But then again, he's only 26 here. Yeah, true. Funny enough, the picture I saw him doing his sumoing, I actually thought he looked older. Yes. Because I don't know why. The hair's questionable. It looks like... his hair looks like DW from Hey Arthur. Oh. Except he's got a little thing to tie it up on top. So that's a reference out there for anyone. But basically, he had a pretty good sumo career. Mm. He then just started to, have fallings out with a few people. He even said in interviews that nothing in his life was harder than training to do sumo wrestling and doing sumo wrestling, which is quite interesting. But yeah, and then he just left the sport early on. He just didn't want to do it anymore for various reasons. A little bit of controversy there, but that was the background on John Tenta's sumo career. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, hopefully you enjoyed it or took something from it at least. Good, lovely. Back to the match. Shoulder tackles in the corner from the big man, but he ducks too early off a whip. Shoulder block by Herc does nothing, and nor does the second. Nope. Clothesline only wobbles Quake. Second does the same, but third drops Quake to one knee. Mm. But Herc makes the mistake of attempting a lift. Oh. Silly, silly man. Yeah. You might be able to bring down the pillars of Rome, but you cannot pick up an earthquake. It's the quickest way to a hernia, that is. Isn't it just? Oh, I'm taking your lines now. Hey. Elbow by Quake and an elbow drop too. Massive elbow drop connects and Quake flexes, sort of. Mm. The big man jumps and the entire arena shakes apparently before he connects with a running whoopsie for the win. I believe he called it the Aftershock. Oh, yeah. Which I thought was a cinnamon-based alcoholic drink, which I've had in the Lounge of the Boogie. Oh, have you? Yes. Not a pleasant drink, that. Quake then hits another whoopsie as Jess refers to it as an aftershock. What is your scoring of the match? I felt like I've actually written, I can't help but feel like Hercules was cheated here. Why? Because shit. 0.5. 1. I would say 0.75. Yeah. Yeah. I'm splitting the difference again. Not just to be arbitrary, but... Yeah, just not for me. No, it just wasn't good, but it served the purpose of Hercules. They didn't obviously have any long-term plans for it at this point. Not sure they ever really did, to be perfectly frank. But they needed to build up Quake. It made sense to put him in there and have him lose. Yeah. And he did that. But the one thing that they did give him is that even after he got hit with the 2 aftershocks, he still managed to get himself back up to his feet and left under his own power, so they didn't have him get carted off, which I'd have been tempted to get. If I was booking that and you're trying to build that, doing that on a stage like WrestleMania... It would have made
sense.
But at least, I guess, for Hercules, he didn't have to do that, so it's a bit more self-respect for him, I guess. Backstage.
Yes.
Rona Barrett with Miss Elizabeth.
This was interesting.
Had you heard of Rona Barrett before?
No.
Okay, nor had I, so I had to look her up. So basically an American gossip columnist that was quite big at the time. And she was with the First Lady of Wrestling, and she says she's gorgeous, and she puts a lot of the movie stars to shame that she's dealt with in the past. No arguments from me.
Yeah.
Miss Elizabeth looking on point.
As always, this was interesting though. I don't think I'd heard her say more than 3 words before, so this was interesting.
Well, not with Randy. You're not going to get the words
exactly.
in there, are you? So Rona asks why Elizabeth has been away, and apparently she's been working in an advisory capacity for the company. I'm calling bullshit. Elizabeth claims she wants to return, and if she does, she'll be more hands-on.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
That's very good. Very good.
I've even put here, more hands-on in brackets. Randy impression, question mark.
Yeah. She's got a lovely voice, though.
It's a southern drawl.
No, I love a southern drawl.
I know you do.
I mean, ideally from a man, but it's just a lovely tone. I really like it.
It's soft, and I think that helps. It's like the distinction between certain Irish accents and Scottish accents. You can get very harsh versions and nice, soft, lyrical versions, and she does have one that registers on the softer end of the scale. That's that segment done.
Yep, I know where we're going now.
Sean Mooney is with the barber.
Hey.
Mooney asks Brutus what is going on, and Beefcake says he was looking at Mr. Perfect's resume.
Yes.
Hand grenades all over the barber's outfit on this occasion.
Not just his balls.
Not just his bollocks.
See, I've got... Oh, Brutus, this is what I needed. The outfit is spot on. Still doesn't blink once.
No, he's
this whole segment.
Scary man with that. Hand grenades all over the outfit, and we learn that there are darker depths to this stanky, must stay away from playgrounds looking mullet. This is something else. It's blown out up top. Yeah. It's got a life of its own. I feel like if I looked at it long enough, I'd see it breathe.
Yeah.
It's offensive to the eyes. It's offensive to most of the senses. Yeah. But fair enough, he continues with it, and he has continued with it for about 4 years now.
Yeah. But this guy also is very similar to Hercules for me in a sense that I've watched them now a few times.
You've developed with his character.
I'm backing them fully.
Brutus then tries to cut the papers Mooney is holding after a pun, and they are so blunt they couldn't cut in line, let alone flimsy A4 paper. Do you see it? He tries to cut it, and it slightly snips a bit, but not.
No.
Good. To be fair, because if you're going around, because even if I'm holding that and I know they're blunt, I don't want mental coming at me with a pair of shears.
Yeah, no tar.
No offence, Brutus, but that's kind of the vibe you're giving out here. To be fair, the match: Mr. Perfect with the Genius versus Brutus, the Barber Beefcake.
Yes.
Holly, do you know who the Genius is?
No, and I was banned from Googling anything.
I just know what Holly's like, so if she doesn't know who someone is, she will probably try and have a little Google of them. And this one, if I think
in normal life, let alone in wrestling.
And it wasn't a criticism, but I just wanted to, and I wanted the people to be able to get your in-person reaction to me confirming who this is. So Lanny Poffo is his real name, right. Son of Angelo Poffo and brother of Randy Poffo. Oh yeah, he's Randy Savage's brother.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
You're looking thinking now, can I see similarities? So the facial hair is kind of similar length-ish hair.
Oh.
Yes, they're brothers.
Oh wow, okay.
Very different in terms of ability, in-ring work, etc., etc. But yes, they are brothers.
Oh.
Randy is the elder statesman in the family, but their dad, Angelo Poffo, was a big wrestler in the 50s.
Right, okay.
That's how they both kind of ended up in that line of work. Interesting thing about Randy Savage is that he actually was looking to have a baseball career before he went into professional wrestling, and he was being lined up. I don't know if it was the St. Louis Cardinals, not Cardinals, because that's the football team, I think. But he was being lined up by one of the big teams in the Major League Baseball organisation, and he basically got really bad, I think it was elbow injury, which basically ended his hopes of doing a baseball career. So he went from that to professional wrestling. Yeah.
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just needed to see your face when I told you who the genius was related to.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have... You could have said to me, name someone. I wouldn't have had an absolute Scooby.
Yep. By the way, this is the Mr. Perfect singlet.
I have put the Mr. Perfect unitard is the bar that all other unitard wearers should reach.
No matter how much of his dick I can see in it, and I can see all his dick, but the singlet is the one. He
is, to me, he's the... I know Kurt Angle, to me, takes over that reign.
Mr. Perfect wore it better.
But, because he's earlier, this is the level that you've got to get.
Yes, I agree. Fully agree with that. An incredible entrance music as well. I'm so pleased we finally get that music. Yep. It means the world to me. Brutus looks like the exact kind of person that wouldn't have been allowed to hold scissors as a kid.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, get that.
Jess, then he starts talking about himself here.
Oh, of course. But this is while Brutus gets undressed for like half hour.
He says, I've got Paul... I was going to try an impression, but I can't do Jess that well. I've got Paul Newman's eyes, Kurt Douglas's chin, and Robert Duvall's haircut. And Jess goes... Not Jess, sorry. Monsoon goes, what do you have of your own, Jess? Jess has nothing for that.
No, he doesn't, does he?
Gets shut down, which is great. Jesse. And then he goes... Again, I really want to do the impression. Gorilla, aren't you going to say hello to Terry, Tyrell and Jade in Minneapolis?
Yep.
I fucked my voice. Right, I'll be honest there. After I just said it, fuck my voice, I did go into some sort of coughing spasm. I regret nothing. I would do it again. I even then listened to it back, and it wasn't as horrendous as I first thought it was. So I'm leaving it in.
Yeah.
So obviously Jess wanted to get a shout out to his wife and kids, and but it played off like a gorilla wanted to do that, which I thought was a nice little touch.
Bit different than every other time.
There's a couple lines actually in this where I've started to note a few things down from commentary, and there's another bit coming up, but we're not there quite yet.
Oh, okay.
He then claims obviously that Gorilla shouts out these people every Mania.
Yeah.
Funny. Mr. Perfect attempts to blindside Brutus, but he sees it coming and avoids before throwing corner rights. Awkward pause before they take turns unloading in the corner. Thought you might like the terminology on that. Yep.
Always.
Big right by Brutus sends Perfect to the floor, and boy does he fly to the floor.
Doesn't he?
Early duck by Perfect off a whip, and an atomic drop sends him back out the ring. Jess calls the genius a human calculator. Monsoon says, yeah, trying to work out how to get out the building. Jess, that's easy. The door.
So deadpan.
Yeah.
It's funny.
But I think it works. It was funny. Brutus is clapping to get the crowd involved, as Holly continues to hog-watch Perfect at this time.
Wasn't hog-watching. Oh, I like him. Like, let me have my time.
I was letting you have your time. That's why I said you continue to do it. Perfect hits a knee and sends the barber's face into the buckles. Corner whip reversed, and Perfect flips on the cell. Brilliant. Body slam by the barber, and he attacks the bread basket in the corner.
Hey.
Another elaborate corner cell by Perfect.
Yep.
Clothesline by Brutus, and we are shown Mary Tyler Moore in the crowd, who's a big fan apparently.
Okay, so that's the smiling lady.
Yes.
I didn't know who she was.
Oh, we get to Mary later.
Yeah.
Genius gets on the apron and drops his metal scroll, allowing Perfect to crown Barber with it.
God.
Stomps and a lovely neck snap get a near fall. Love the neck snap. You trying to picture what that is?
No, I'm just trying to understand what the hell I've written down here.
Well, obviously read it out loud now.
To sneak and a snake by Gorilla, that's the way you have to win.
To sneak and snake?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I don't really know. I must have heard something, written it down, and then it's auto-corrected and made no sense.
Well, I'm waiting for Saturday Marengo to appear in this one. Perfect works over the back, and as Jess corrects Monsoon on angles. On angles?
Oh.
I don't even know what I'm referring to. But Jess corrects, because I know that they did have a disagreement, and then Monsoon just went, oh, sorry I said anything.
Oh.
Chops and a big knee lift by Perfect. Slap for good measure. Shoves too. Clothesline, and Perfect is in full confidence here. Messy slingshot by Brutus, and Perfect could have torn his knee as he comes down. As he hits the corner post, he then falls down but gets his leg caught between the second and bottom rope and falls back, so he really could have done some bad damage there. Looked horrendous. Oh, hang on. That's enough for the 3. I am surprised and disappointed.
Yeah.
What did you score this?
I gave it a 1.5.
Yeah, you're well off.
Yeah.
2.75.
I think I had a really high expectation, and I wanted more from it.
Yeah.
And then when I actually saw it, I was like, this is really anticlimactic.
I didn't think it was that great. I thought 2.75 is actually quite generous.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't go above 2. I think 1.75 again maybe is probably the mark I'd have landed it on. Which is a shame because, again, like I really like Mr. Perfect and he's been in some absolute bangers, but the 2 Mania matches we've seen of him so far, they've not delivered.
No.
I actually saw someone on the comments saying that the Blue Blazer Mr. Perfect match was really good. I argue it wasn't. Because I think I know what both men could do, and I just thought the chemistry wasn't there. This is the same, because Barber's not exactly a bad wrestler. He's not a great wrestler. But, yeah, this didn't really offer what I wanted it to. So I think 2.75 is quite generous. I will say, though, maybe the crowd reaction, because the crowd were really behind the Barber.
Yes.
Maybe that kind of played it up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always here to support the Barber. We know this.
Oh, I do know this.
But,
very much so.
Yeah, I think 100% for me, it was just an expectation. As soon as I saw who the match was with as well, I was like, "Oh, here we go. This will be really good." But
but we're not quite done with this bit yet.
No.
The Genius tries to sneak off with the shears twice, but the Barber slaps the sleeper on and then gives him another trim because he's already had his hair cut by the Barber before.
He has.
Not even the worst haircut on the night, to be fair. This, and but Barber's got that all to himself. And that's basically it because someone's got to get a haircut, and Genius doesn't matter.
Gorilla says he's only doing what the people want him to do.
Cut hair.
Okay.
I thought they wanted him to wrestle.
That's a bit contradictory, but never mind.
I can't imagine. Maybe I'm wrong. 63,000 people going to see a haircut.
No.
Seems a bit much. I can't think of anyone's hair.
Who knows when Gorilla says it? Eh?
Well, hopefully Gorilla knows what he's saying when he says it, but you know. Now this bit's probably going to split the room. I think you hated it. I liked it. I really, really liked it.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Of course you didn't. We go backstage to the showers, I think, where they've set up a piano.
Yeah, why?
And we see a tuxedoed Steve Allen, which is Faye's dad's name, and the Bolsheviks.
Yeah.
So Steve says he'll play the Soviet national anthem. I get no kick from Ukraine.
Oh.
And they're like, that's not the anthem. He goes, come on, lighten up, it was just a joke. And then he goes to play Pop Goes the Weasel. And he said, okay, no more Stalin. Very droll. And then the toilet flushes.
Oh, yeah.
The Bolsheviks go mad. And that's it. Yeah. Steve Allen, later in the show, he appears, I don't like him. This bit, loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was very funny because he's just playing the complete and utter... It's not even straight lay. I don't know how to articulate what it was I liked about it so much.
Okay.
But it was just so uncommon in wrestling.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Like comedic.
The comedic timing worked for me in this particular instance. I knew you wouldn't like it.
Yeah, it's just not me.
What was it about it specifically?
Just stuff like this bores me.
Is it? But again, then you like something like the Carly Kiss Cam.
Yeah, I know. Because that's so ridiculous, it's funny.
There's a piano set up in the showers.
I don't know. I get, like, I got it was mildly amusing, but it's just not for me.
Okay, fair enough.
Just not for me.
Fair enough. We then go to a match.
Yeah.
I say we go to a match.
Yeah.
Am I going to credit it as a match? Yes, because I've given it a star rating, because I've got to. But it's the Hart Foundations against the Bolsheviks. Now I'm happy. It also looks as though Brett is walking around the ring requesting a hug.
Oh, right.
He's going round.
The hands are out.
Doing that, but he's not doing the thrust with the hands. He's just kind of holding it out, like waiting for someone to give him a hug.
Aww.
I think he gives his glasses to a child in
the
front row.
Very nice.
Which I think is the first time we've seen that on a Mania as well.
Yes, I'm always happy to see the Hart Foundation.
As am I, with the music as well, specifically. Yeah. Quite ominous, though, I thought, as the Bolsheviks head to the ring with no music. Yes. It's quite unsettling, but it's good. Then got here, Brett hands his glasses to a kid.
Yeah.
Volkov requests to sing the Soviet anthem, and Brett has to stop the anvil several times from going nuts.
Which works, I think.
It does. Neidhart then just can't wait and blindsides Volkov, so Hart thinks, well, if I can't stop him, might as well join in and twat Zukov in the process as well. Nikolai's clotheslined by anvil to the floor, and Zukov gets planted with a heart attack. Brett covers, and we get the 1, 2, 3 as the hitman counts along to the camera.
That's
done.
Is the heart attack where Anvil lifts up the person and then Brett does the running?
Clothesline.
Thank you.
Correct.
Because I've literally detailed the move because I couldn't remember what it was called.
Heart attack. What would you score this match?
0.25.
0.25 is Dave's score.
Fuck, are you serious?
Yeah, 0.25.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I think it's 0. It's not a match.
No, it's not. And again, so fucking disappointed.
Yeah, because I don't think I would necessarily want them to have a long match against the Bolsheviks. I'd like them to have a long match.
Yeah.
Tell you what would have been great at this time. Heart Foundation against the Rockers.
Oh, I love that.
Did you ever hear about the infamous phantom title change between the Heart Foundation and the Rockers?
No.
So the Rockers, don't know if you're aware of this, never won the WWF Tag Team titles.
Yes.
They had a match against the Heart Foundation. It was done for TV taping. I think it was a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Okay.
Both teams had won
a what match?
A win twice match.
Thank you.
Both teams had won a fall, but then I think between the second and third fall, the middle rope broke.
Oh.
So they carried on the match, and it kind of fell apart a little bit. The Rockers won the match.
Yeah.
Tag team title holders. Vince went, no, we can't. That was awful. Like the way the ring looked, everything awful. So they cancelled it, and they acted like it never happened.
Stop it.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
I mean, unsurprising, but it's ridiculous.
But yeah, that's so the Rockers did technically
win the title,
but
they never got them.
No, they never won them.
For fuck's sake.
But imagine how good a WrestleMania match. Give them a win twice match at WrestleMania for the titles.
That would have been epic.
Mm. Don't worry, we get a lengthy Shawn Michaels Bret Hart match down the line.
Yeah.
We get a Vince McMahon voiceover, but you're about to say something.
I literally was about to comment on this.
Please.
Stressful.
Okay, so what Holly's referring to as being stressful is we see an image of the LA Coliseum and learn that WrestleMania 7 is scheduled to be there. Indeed, the venue was booked for the event, but that is not where it took place.
Oh.
But that's a story for the next show.
Okay, fine.
Jess and Monsoon discuss Mania going to California, which Jess is claiming is his home.
This actually made me really sad, this little segment.
Because you knew
Because I don't get Jesse again.
No.
Made me so sad, and the fact that he makes references to the next time, and in your head like, I know you're not there.
We do get Jess in other shows around this era, just not WrestleMania, so we'll have to dig them out, which we can watch, but you have to watch an old show to get it.
No.
And they've got him in WCW as well, early doors, before Heenan goes across as well.
Yeah, I've put that. He says he's coming home. And
yes.
I was like, you're not, though.
I think one of the pairings on commentary on WCW for a while was Jesse and Jim Ross.
Oh, okay.
Which I think sounds like it's, I would hear that and go, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I don't think it particularly works.
Oh, that's a shame.
I feel like Jess, I could be wrong, I might be misremembering, but I'm just literally going off the top of my head from recollection from hearing it in the past. I'm pretty sure that JR wouldn't bite back the same way that Gorilla would. Mm-hmm. Jesse would just kind of have digs at JR, and JR would get his nose
just
put out by it,
yeah,
and would just be visibly annoyed and then not give anything back. So it was more
that dynamic just didn't work.
Yeah, it was conflicting more than working in harmony. Okay. I thought. Again, I might be misremembering that massively, but that's in my head how it was. Jess says, or it looks like I wrote a different word there. Jess says he can't help it if Gorilla doesn't get any tickets, and Grandma has to stay at home.
It's so weird.
I mean, I'll be honest. If Monsoon's grandma is still alive at that point in time, I will give you a $5.
Thank you.
Willing to bet she isn't. We then see that Barbarian gets a silent entrance to the ring.
Yeah.
A menacing looking guy, but he needs music.
Yeah, for sure.
Mean Gene interviews Tito Santana, our boy, friend of the show, and says how versatile he is, having competed in every Mania, both as a single star and a tag team performer, which is true. Tito says he believes he can deal with both Heenan and Barbarian. Arriba!
I would literally have put in there, guarantee Scott is going to say Arriba.
Funny enough, I didn't put it down. That was a off the cuff decision. Barbarian with Bobby Heenan versus Tito Santana. Jess continually refers to Tito as Chico, to the point where Tito Santana's book about his life is actually called Don't Call Me Chico.
Oh, is it?
Yep. And says he should give some of his food to Barbarian, as then he would win by count-out. Get it? Because Mexican food gives you the shits, Holly.
Oh, okay. I love Mexican food.
So do I, but at this time it's quite funny to think, and this is true to a point, Mexican cuisine wasn't as widely available and revered in the States and internationally as it is now. We just think of it as
I feel like it's
standard
always
cuisine.
Yeah.
But it hasn't. I mean,
bloody love it.
Oh, I do as well. But back then, even in the States, they're just like, it was considered like the same way. I imagine it's probably similar to how the UK received like Indian food when it first started to be done, like in kind of the Midlands and London.
Right.
It's just seen as so different and exotic, and it's kind of got linked to the same things, like it would give you a dodgy stomach. So that to me is how the Americans were viewing Mexican food.
Okay.
I think it was obviously more different as you kind of crept towards the border between Mexico and the United States, because obviously there'd be some crossover. But yeah, in large part, it wasn't as prevalent as it is now.
Gosh, I love all of this food.
Oh, so do I.
This is just making me well hungry.
Yeah, I haven't eaten today, so I'm ravenous at the moment. But still having a lovely time, I must say.
Oh, yeah.
So Barbarian shoves Tito off a collar and elbow. Good contrast of gear with white and black.
Yeah, check you out.
Oh, I spot these things.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. Tito backs into a corner, but turns it around and unloads with right hands.
Yeah.
Barbarian takes a powder.
Oh, this immediately pisses me off.
I know, as soon as someone leaves the ring, you get emotional.
Just have a fucking chat.
Yeah, well, he's got to strategise with the brain, hasn't he?
Well, he should know the strategy before he gets in.
Well, sometimes you have to think on the fly, don't you? Jesus. Back in the ring, and Barbarian flexes after a shoulder tackle doesn't move him, but is hit with a crossbody. I'll tell you what, Tito actually does hit. I know he hits the flying forearm, but his crossbody actually does look like it hits with a bit more oomph than a lot of people's. After the near fall, Tito slaps on a side headlock.
Of course.
Big hip toss by Barbarian, but his falling headbutt misses. We know what's coming next, Holly. Face full of sausage for the big man.
Hey.
And Tito rains down punches as he falls to his back. 2 count, which is quite good. He didn't just like powerbomb him off it or anything like that.
No.
He was like, oh, I'm going to fight out, get out of this position.
Yeah.
Really nice big boot by Barbarian off a whip.
Almost takes Tito's head off.
He does, very much so. Shoulder breaker, second one of the night.
Yeah.
Connects, but second rope elbow misses.
Yes, that was interesting for me.
How so?
Well, I just hadn't seen that.
What, second rope elbow?
Because he walks, he doesn't just do it from the...
Oh, he
walks along, doesn't he?
Yeah, the only person that I can think of that does something like that, and it tends to be more from the top rope, is Xavier Woods.
Yes.
In the New Day. But yes,
But
you're right.
like, up to this point, WrestleMania-wise, I was a bit like, why is he not just doing it from the corner? But I was like, yeah, had a bit of difference, why not?
Big dude as well, so, but yeah, I liked it. I mean, it missed, so who cares?
Yeah.
Tito avoids a corner charge, and he blocks a big boot. Drop kick staggers the big man. I put second does. Oh, second does drop him. There we go. Second rope double axe handle staggers Barbarian once more, and the flying forearm connects. That should be the finish. Heenan, however, drapes Barbarian's foot across the rope, which saves the match for his client.
Yeah, of course, and the ref obviously doesn't see, because...
Of course.
You know.
Santana spotted that. Tito looks to go after Heenan, but is stopped by the ref.
Yeah.
Santana slips out the back, on a body slam, but is then guillotined off the top rope as Barbarian dips his head above the second cable. I like the way that they did that.
Yeah.
So Barbarian, obviously he's got the go behind by Tito. He runs at the ropes, he ducks down, so Tito runs neck first into the top rope.
It is clever, but just makes me go funny.
But... So after that, beautiful top rope clothesline by Barbarian, which flips Tito over.
I didn't like that either.
You didn't like why?
I didn't like it. It's too much.
Because the way he sold it?
Yes.
Bloody hell.
No, as in, like, it's good, but again, it's
the neck.
Yes, I can't help it.
So yeah, beautiful top rope clothesline by Barbarian, flips Tito over, and that is the 1, the 2, and the 3. Holly, what do you score this match?
1.75.
That would be my score as well, 0.75.
What?
I know, it's mad, isn't it? That's why I think he was drunk.
Interesting.
It wasn't great, don't get me wrong.
No, it wasn't great, but at least there was a bit more wrestling.
I agree.
Like, content.
I think the two worked well together.
Yes.
I don't think, even though Barbarian's a big sweaty hoss, I don't think he massively...
He can move.
Yeah, and I don't think Tito looked overwhelmed by it either.
No.
I thought, it worked pretty well, so I'd say 1.75 would be my score.
Yes. Lovely.
We then get the package for the mixed tag team match.
Oh, God.
Savage storms the Brother Love set, looking to strike Sapphire, but has to fend off Dusty instead. Sapphire jumps on Randy's back to choke him, but is pulled off by the hair from Brother Love. Sherry does the same to Dusty at a TV taping, causing a DQ, and the two women pull hair. Sean Mooney interviews Dusty and Sapphire. Sean says, tonight, Sapphire is both Dusty's manager and tag team partner for the night. Dusty, no, Daddy, you got that all wrong, Fee. This is sweet Sapphire. Dusty says that Savage and Sherry are missing a royalty. Missing in royalty what the Dream and Sapphire possess. The crown jewel, Daddy.
Oh, God.
Testicles? What do you mean?
Oh, crown jewels.
What did he mean?
I don't know.
Yep. You didn't know necessarily that Dusty one was coming there, so...
No, I didn't.
That's for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Again, not great, but it's fine.
That was great.
We then go to the match. So,
Right.
before we
Yes,
dive into the match,
please.
we're probably going to have very similar comments on this. And with that being said, please actually share with me your thoughts.
I have 4 points here. The first one, though, is this is the first time seeing good old Dusty. The second being, why can't the woman that he's with stand still? Why is she boxing around? She's not.
Well,
Honestly, just, I think by this point I was annoyed, and I don't really know what I was annoyed about.
I think I know.
And then, actually, I made a similarity in the sense that Dusty has very expressive eyebrows, which, I know I've got expressive eyebrows, but these were on...
No shit.
These were on another level.
Yeah.
But I could also see reference to all the scar tissue on his forehead from all the blade jobs.
And his arm.
Yeah, I did see that, but I couldn't work out if that was stretch marks or blade stuff. Oh, okay.
Blade, yeah.
But I saw it in his... because of his eyebrows
Forehead.
going up and down, and that's what I was looking at, and I was like,
thick, isn't it?
oh, wow, that's brutal.
It's thick. My theory on why you were annoyed
Yes.
is probably the same for me. Is don't have the women involved in this match. Randy Savage has just gone from being WWF champion at the Mania before, having won it at the Mania even prior to that, WrestleMania 4, all the way down to this what's basically a bit of a joke
match, 100%.
And that's primarily probably because they like to put Dusty in silly situations to kind of like knock him down a few pegs, because Dusty was the booker for Jim Crockett Promotions. He was like high up, well thought of, and they're like, oh, hang on, no, in this world, in our world,
know your role type thing.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
It is a shame, and Randy got kind of swept up in that.
Yeah, because I saw this and I was just like, and immediately I was like, not Randy.
No, I know,
and it really annoyed me.
So Sapphire was a plant in the crowd. She was a wrestling fan. That is literally it. She's not wrestling under any circumstance.
Well, no, I figured that much.
Well, quite. But, yeah, so she was just brought out of the crowd once, I think, to do with a skit. I don't know what the skit was. I felt like it was to do with the $1 Million Man, but I could be wrong. And, yeah, so she was just kind of paired with Dusty from that point onwards in the polka dots, which I've got a comment on as well.
Oh, okay.
In a second, which is just a shame.
Yeah.
So, whilst Sherry is no Liz, that is one hell of an outfit.
Isn't it just?
Purple regal dress. Savage's gear on point too.
Always. Never expect anything less.
This is the polka dot comment. Oh. Did you know, Holly, that the polka dots were a rib on Dusty by Vince?
Sorry, my stomach's rumbling. No.
Yeah. So basically, they thought it was a laugh. They thought, yeah, see if you can make this work. Because Dusty's whole thing was he was a showman. He can talk himself into any situation, make anything believable. He went, okay, polka dots. You're goofy.
Okay.
Yeah, that was literally it. And so now the story you hear is people saying, revisionist history, that Dusty was given that to show that he could still make that work. And Dusty says, oh yeah, the great honour that I could put that on and show that I could still make it work, Daddy. Like, and he just... It was a joke, let's be fair. It was a joke. Let's take it for what it was. He did the best with it he could. I'm not taking anything away from that. But at the end of the day, it was to make him look stupid. And the sad part is if you're just like a WWF fan, when you think of Dusty Rhodes as a wrestler, what do you think of?
Yeah.
The polka dots.
Yeah. True.
And that is so far, that's like a blip in his career compared to what he did in the NWA.
Yeah.
So it was done as a joke on him.
Oh. If it was alright, I'll be honest.
Do you know what? That talking Dusty sounded alright, that one. It
yeah.
Was I heard, okay.
You're very happy with yourself, though.
I was, a little pat on the back.
Okay.
Get me some flowers. Okay.
Yes.
Dusty grabs the mic and introduces us to the crown jewel, the real queen, Miss Elizabeth.
That's very nice. Oh, right. Before this, though, Dusty's entrance music.
America.
It's a little bop, isn't it?
Have you never heard it before?
No, never.
And then the cowbells.
Yeah, I quite like that. I'll be honest. I was having a little bop.
Yeah, that's
before that. I thought it was great.
That's his WWF thing. Even when he did stuff NXT and came out and Hall of Fame, this is what he was coming out to, doing his little dance.
I quite like it.
granted, they made him look at it, but I like the tune as well.
Yeah, I like it. And then I do have a point about Elizabeth.
Is it that she's on fire? Because that is correct.
She is fire, but why is she still coming out to Randy's music?
Because she doesn't have her own identity.
But that makes me sad. Like,
Okay,
she gets
what does
an
she come out
absolute
to?
reaction. Like, the crowd love her. But I'd already listened to that entrance music, and was it Pomp and whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Like, whatever, it's fine. But I don't need to hear it again. After you've had the banger that is Dusty's entrance, just have Elizabeth walk in. Like, I don't
understand
care.
what you're saying. Remember we were talking about at WrestleMania 5 when Liz comes out to the music again?
Yes.
And we both said that
No,
didn't
don't
need
need
it.
it.
I still think she should have come out first with no music.
Yeah.
This one kind of makes sense because her coming out to no music takes a
I mean,
little
it is
bit
a bit
from
odd, but
it
have
takes
her
a
come out with Dusty and Sapphire. I know it takes away from the whole element of she's here.
They couldn't do it as well because if you think they're on the motorised ring, so they couldn't have them start to come down, then Dusty go, wait a second, and then because she would then have to get on.
I feel like that would have been brilliant, actually.
No, I just don't think there's a way that they can do it.
Stop the motorised ring. There's someone else that needs to get
Back
on.
it up. Beep,
Yeah,
beep,
100%. That's what I would do. Whether it works or not, who cares?
So,
But
Miss Elizabeth, for the first time in WrestleMania, is in the opposite corner from her husband.
yeah,
Oh yeah, they're still pretending that they're not married, by the way, at this point in wrestling.
because at this point they were
married.
still married.
Yes, and then they are going through marital issues when they have the wedding scene at SummerSlam. Match made in heaven, match made in hell. They got married as if it was the first time they were getting married.
Yeah.
But
at this point
behind the scenes, they were basically falling apart, which is really sad when you think about it. But yeah, it's one of those ones. It's a shame. I feel like it's a shame it didn't work out, but you know, I guess everything happens for a reason. Wasn't meant to be, etc. So yeah, Elizabeth is out in the corner. Macho and Sherry are outraged, and Jess asks if he has to look at Sapphire.
Yeah, I know. He really digs on her this whole time.
There's one funny line he does say though, and I say you don't have to look at her, not when Elizabeth's there.
No.
Jess asks if Sapphire has ever heard of Slim Fast, and Gorilla said she has bulked up for this match, which had me howling.
Honestly,
because what Gorilla said here is to help. Is like, oh no, she's deliberately put on mass for this match.
Yeah.
Whereas Jesse's like, oh, she's a fat cow.
Honestly.
Knee by Savage early, but he has dropped off a back elbow from the Dream.
I'll be honest as well, I also got very confused early on because to me the two women are stood in the wrong corners. Not Sapphire, what's her name? Sherry was stood in there. You know where the camera faces the ring?
Oh, right.
And she was stood in the corner with her back effectively to the camera.
Rather than...
And I was like, hang on, you're meant to be round the side.
Do you know, I didn't even spot that. That's a good
it
point.
really confused me.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I get that. Sherry then strikes Dust from... I think it was from the apron, actually, or maybe she came in. The Dream... Oh, yeah, no, she definitely comes in. Because she clobbers him on the back. The Dream then shouts, grab that bitch. And Sapphire does.
Yeah.
Savage stops it. Jess says, any angle but that one. So the camera is below as Sapphire comes in to show. He goes, oh, any camera angle but that. And I was just like, yeah. That one made me chuckle. The Slim Fast one, I was like, bit much. But that one was funny. Up top, and Savage is caught and tossed into Sherry. So that was good. So he jumps.
Yes.
Dusty catches him and then just kind of, as carefully as you could, throws him in Sherry's direction, and Sherry goes to the floor. Sapphire is tagged in, and Dusty throws Sherry in the ring.
Yeah.
Shoved by Sapphire, sends her into Savage on the apron,
This
which Savage
is a
sells.
common theme in
Well,
this
he is
match.
just a common man, working hard with his hands. Stupid hip bumps by the Poker Queen knock Sherry down.
Stupid.
Slow motion airplane spin leads to a 1 count.
Oh, that's so ridiculous.
Fair play. She's not a wrestler. She still picked up a human being.
That is interesting.
And
but
then dropped her. Because Sherry's not a small woman either. Like, I'm not saying she's a big
tall.
girl.
She's tall.
Yeah. Sherry tries to body slam Sapphire, but collapses a la Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant under her mask that Gorilla said she's tacked on. Dusty then tags in. Sherry retreats out of the ring and Savage is hit with a clothesline as he tries to blindside the Dream.
Yeah.
Dusty restrains Savage, allowing Sapphire to slap him.
Fine, yeah.
Sherry runs in, but straight into the Macho King.
Honestly, is she fucking blind at this point?
Well, the evidence would suggest so, yes. The Dream shoves Sherry into the corner before a running knee by Savage sends Big Dust to the floor.
Yeah.
Series of rights by Savage on the floor, and Sherry gets 1 in 2. Top rope double axe handle to the floor, which is a classic Savage
Standard.
spot. One thing I would say is, and I noticed Jess was really getting on Gorilla on this in commentary, was he said, "Oh, how is it fair that Dusty's putting his hands on Sherry? Should be a disqualification." And Gorilla said, "Well, Sherry's doing it too." He said, "No, Sherry's doing it in retaliation." Gorilla, Sherry literally ran into the ring and twatted Dusty right at the beginning. And he didn't reference it at all. And I was like, that would have shut him down immediately. And I like Jess having a go, but but normally Jess, when he has a go,
he was on and on and on.
He's normally got a point, but his point was wrong on this one, and Gorilla just didn't shut him down. And I was like, oh, that's annoying.
Yeah,
that's annoying. Martel, which is obviously Sherry's name, not Rick the model, with a rake of the eyes, and Savage connects with a second top rope double axe handle.
Yeah.
Sapphire steps in the ring. Oh, sorry, no, she doesn't. Sapphire steps in the way of a third, and Savage throws her out the way, and she goes flying, to be fair to her.
Yeah, and there's a bit that Savage does after this where he jumps over the top rope to get to the floor, but he jumps over the top rope straight to the floor.
Classic Savage.
Bloody love it. Brilliant. It's so stupid, but it's something so little.
Remember you said that
I really
when
like.
he's in a Royal Rumble.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Liz helps Sapphire up. Top rope double axe handle into the ring connects.
Oh, you've thrown me off. Hang on. Yeah, okay. I'm back in the room.
back with us?
Yeah.
Near fall as Sherry screams, and she can scream, that woman. Impressive suplex to Dust by Savage.
Yeah.
2 count frustrates Savage, who retrieves a scepter. Because he's king. So I should have actually...
I haven't called it that. I know. Now you've said the word, I know what it is.
What do you call it?
A king stick.
A king stick.
It's not a pimp stick, it's a king stick.
Fuck me sideways. A king stick.
I forgot what it's called.
Well, I think we know that it's now a king stick. There's a shirt right there.
Sorry.
A king stick.
King stick. Get my king stick.
Get my king stick. So Macho Man had become the King of the Ring winner. He went Macho King.
Okay.
Embraced all the regal regalia and all that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't understand why, but I gathered by their entrance and the crown and stuff.
That's exactly it. Sherry is lying across the ropes, shouting at Elizabeth. We're not there at the bit you're thinking of, though. Top rope scepter lands to the back. Sherry tagged and hits a top rope splash, which is ugly.
It is the worst I think I might have seen.
Yeah, but Dusty powers out at 1. Grabs a little knocker on that kick out. I don't know if you saw that. I did. Savage takes flight, but is hit with a punch to the breadbasket.
Of course. Oh, it's my favourite. It's coming.
Double noggin knocker to the heels.
I just love the way it sounds.
Corner elbows by the Dream until Sherry leaps onto his back. Dusty backs into a tag by Sapphire. Sherry is flung to the outside. No. Elevated snapmare gets a 1. Sapphire starts dancing until she is slapped, and they both pull hair.
Yeah.
Sherry is flung to the outside and is immediately thrown back in by Liz. Hello, Liz getting hands on. She wasn't lying. She's a changed woman.
I know, but also Jessie does make a nice little comment before about Sapphire going, she's a little bottom heavy, isn't she?
A little bottom heavy gorilla.
Yeah, I was like, alright, give her a break. Come on.
Sapphire hits either a DDT or a suplex. I can't tell which.
No.
But only thing I know for sure is that it was horseshit.
Yes.
Savage stops the pin.
Yeah.
Sherry swipes at Liz, who shoves her over the kneeling Sapphire.
That's funny. I'm sorry. Schoolboy will always be funny.
And the roll-up gets 1, 2, 3. We then see Savage tries a cheap shot with a scepter, but Dusty gut punches him and takes the scepter. And then all 3, including Liz, start dancing in the ring. And we get, what a threesome!
Yes, I did enjoy
Would I?
that.
Wouldn't like to say, but probably.
Just because of Elizabeth, yeah. Fine.
Wouldn't like to say. What would you score this match?
So, I actually feel like I've been really generous on this one. I gave it 2. 2 out of 5. And I had to give it more than the Tito match as I felt that there was a little bit more content. However, I am very much aware 2 is too high. And I think I actually liked it for comedy value.
I mean, at least you got something out of it. 1.5 was Dave's score.
Oh, okay, I take that.
I'm probably around 1.5, 1.25, just because I felt like they could have done more if they just changed. Like, Sherry's fine as a wrestler.
Yeah.
Let's remove entirely Sapphire from the equation and just have one-on-one between Dusty and Macho.
Oh, that would have been so much better, but
we can't have things we like.
I had to find the funny side of this.
Having said that, I think this was the only comedy-ish match on the card.
Okay.
Because last year we had...
Only intentionally.
Yeah. I think I know where you're going with that. WrestleMania 5, we had the Bushwhackers, which I guess was the comedy match for that one, which was fucking awful.
Yeah.
Can't wait for them to appear later.
Oh,
sorry, I just remember the whole angle and how they appeared, and I'm getting angry.
Yep.
It's fine. We're not there yet. Breathe, Scott. We're good. For me, 1.25 is probably fair. We then get the...
This isn't how I like to see Randy, though.
No.
It's just...
He's not had a great run at Mania, has he?
No.
When you think about it. 4, good.
Yeah.
3, excellent. 5, good. 2, wank. 6, not good.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, because you think of Savage as being such a legend, and he is, but his WrestleMania matches, as a whole, there's as many shit as there is good.
Well, maybe when we get to more recent Mania matches, then we can dig out some older Savage matches that are actually... Good.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely
there'll be many to choose from, but
I
can't do
actually,
this at the same time.
Having said that, his next Mania match
is it
very good.
Okay.
The one after that, okay. So I don't think he has another bad one.
Okay.
I think he's only got 2 more matches.
No. Oh, see, this is the thing. You introduced me to this. I didn't want to do it, and now all you're doing is introducing me to people that you then take away.
You know that's the dream scenario for me, because not only that it shows that you can kind of watch this stuff and like it, but then it opens the door for me to say, well, okay, I'm going to pick Survivor Series 91, and you'll go, oh, okay, and you'll know then most of the people in there. So I thought the WrestleMania journey was just
now it's upsetting because now you're introducing me to people. I've lost, my guy, Lord Alfred.
Yeah, Lord Al.
Now I'm losing Jesse.
I will find stuff with Lord Al commentating
Savage soon. Come on.
Lord Al, I'm pretty sure, commentates on a Survivor Series.
Okay, well.
We will find stuff that you will like from the archives. Do not stress.
Thanks.
We get the Vince voiceover again.
Yeah.
We see the Shield for WrestleMania 7 once more, and the more I see it, the more amused I am by the fact it doesn't actually take place there. It is an interesting story as to why. Okay. Interesting in terms of the truth of the matter and how WWF spun it.
See. Standard.
Yep. Mean Gene interviews Heenan. Mean Gene says Heenan family members are falling like the Berlin Wall, which was actually a topical comment at the time, because it only went down in 89. A very sweaty and flustered Heenan...
So sweaty.
He is, isn't he? Says he is the easiest guy in the world to get along with, but when you're 7'5" and 500 pounds and it takes 2.5 hours for the blood to reach your brain, you don't think too good. Gene then asks how Heenan had the nerve to slap the giant. Heenan said he is the head of the family and they need to listen to him. Then he drops a great line.
Okay.
If you listen to me, you go right to the top. If you don't, you're never heard from again.
And then
Heenan will start a new family.
Silence. And I was like, oh, is this a thing? And I can't remember what his name is, because are you lost for words?
Yeah, Mean Gene.
And I was just like, this bit's not a word.
I think it's just he was showing how flustered he was at the whole situation.
Yeah.
And then he says he's going to start a new family and just walks off. You're already laughing at this next bit, aren't you? As soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, Holly's gone places with this.
Yeah, we're back in the bank.
Gorilla and Jess with Rona Barrett. Rona says, it's very difficult to get information on wrestlers due to their clean images, which is the single dumbest line I've ever heard on a wrestling show in my entire fucking life.
Yeah.
Gorilla believes Rona could find some info if she tried. Rona then suggests she has some footage on Jess, and Monsoon says he resembles that remark. Rona suggests it was from a porno.
Yeah.
And Monsoon is very eager to see this footage.
As was I.
His eyes.
Yeah, he proper lights up, didn't he?
A flustered Jess quickly interjects and he sends it over to Sean Mooney.
Was that just a joke? There wasn't actually like a...
No, you looked it up, didn't you?
No, I actually didn't. Because I thought I'd ask first before I wasted time trying to find one. The only thing I did say is that Jesse looks like he's proper trimmed down a bit from the last WrestleMania.
A little bit.
Because he had a bit of a not a paunch, because he has got a good body. Like, let's
Well, he used
be
to
real.
the body.
But his like midsection was a bit more pronounced, and then
Yeah.
when I saw him here, I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
But he doesn't do his pose off, which I'm gutted about.
Well, that's why, probably.
Gutted.
No, we didn't need that. It's silly.
I did.
No, it's alright. You get rude later. Don't worry about it.
I'd have Jesse over Rude. For
yeah,
sure.
I know you would, and
For
I'm
sure.
I'm listening to see if I can hear Jamie scream.
Yeah,
but he hasn't heard it yet.
I don't understand why that's the thing. Like,
Yeah, but you said over Brutus you'd take over him.
yeah, at that point, yeah.
At that point,
Yeah.
there it is. There it is. She's coming round, Jamie. She's coming round. Sean Mooney interviews Savage and Sherry.
This is fucking stupid.
It
I'm
is.
sorry.
Sherry is going mental as Savage tells Mooney he hit the nail on the head. And suffering... What? And suffering builds character. You thought I was going to do an impression, didn't you? So
No, but there's a bit coming that I kind of hope you do, and I'm be sad if you don't.
Mooney asks what the future holds, and Savage says they will not be embarrassed again. As Savage is answering, he continues to rotate away from Mooney until it looks like they're spooning.
Yes, it does.
I'll be honest.
You didn't. Oh, it's
What
when
is
he
it?
picks up the phone.
Oh,
And I thought he was going to go, you better call somebody.
yeah, he goes over and goes, you hit the nail on the head, yeah! And then he picks the phone up and goes,
Very funny, but just reminded me of Is it Road Dog?
yeah.
His entrance.
Oh,
That's-
you didn't know?
I don't know why, but it just made me laugh.
It is very, very manic, and Sherry's just
She's an idiot.
going
I'm sorry.
batshit.
I
in the
said it.
background.
Like, that's... I get angry. We know, right? No. This is... I'm sorry. Who's doing this when you're angry? I know it's not real. I know. It just annoys me.
I bet she was a great angry bang, though, let's be fair.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. She'd probably like... let's not go down that route. Mean Gene interviews Demolition.
Oh, boo.
Demolition talk about how good it feels to be tag champs again, as this time they weren't the favourites. They were the underdogs because of Andre's size. That's pretty much the gist of that entire segment, because I only put one line down for it.
And I just got, they say this is a natural high. And I was like, okay, don't really
Well, they
need
get
to
the
mention
synthetic
that.
highs as well.
And I also just commented on one of them, either he's doing it or he needs to see a doctor, because his pecs are just flexing constantly. I stopped listening because as soon as I saw they were talking, saw them and they were talking, I was like, nope. And that's all I could look at. I was like, what is this? It's like, when your eye sometimes twitches.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that just what happens with pecs? It's like mine
Spasmodic
don't
muscle.
do it, but...
Yeah. I can honestly say, I don't stand there doing that myself,
No,
but
weird, isn't it?
I'm also not a pro wrestler, so
Well, okay.
maybe I should. I'll come out of the shower later and I'll just start flexing in the muscles.
Do it for your wife and see how she reacts to that.
Well, yeah, if she laughed, then I'd just die a little bit.
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe that's not the best idea, but you're always trying to get me in trouble, you aren't?
Yep.
Well, at least you're honest. Jess and Gorilla. Gorilla says he actually went back and saw the footage, and there was nothing to speak of. Little dick comment?
That's below the belt, don't like that. And
He did take steroids.
important things have gone down.
Important things have gone
Bet
down.
they did. Bet they fucking did.
Mean Gene interviews Hulk Hogan.
Oh, here we go. Time to get exhausted, people.
Wait, because of me or because of the interview?
No, because
Okay.
it's Hulk. I love Hulk, but I get so tired just watching his promos.
Gene says Hulk is the greatest WWF champion of all time and mentions the ultimate challenge that's forthcoming. Well, you're exactly right, Mean Gene. Hogan says he doesn't need reminding, and when he was hovering over the Skydome, he saw the greatest arena in the world. Hovering over it? The fuck? What do you mean? I don't understand what he means. Absolute crackhead. Hogan points at Hogan points at his hand and says that is where the power of Hulkamania lies.
Yep.
That's his wanking hand as well, for sure. And then it gets weird.
Oh, hang on. It gets weird. The whole fucking thing is weird, but yes, my notes do say that it takes a turn now.
When he gets Warrior down on his knees, he will ask him if he wants to live forever. And if his answer is yes, Warrior will breathe his last breath into Hulk's body. The Hulkamaniacs can save him.
I'm sorry. How the fuck did I not pick up on this when I actually watched it? I think it's because I
Word for word.
switch off. I must switch off because that's fucking awful.
Weird, isn't
Get
it?
down on your knees and take your last fucking breath. Oh, okay.
Well, and they kind of do that in the match, but we're a bit away from there.
Wow.
Hogan says it doesn't matter if you win or lose, it's whether you're a good winner or loser. Fuck off from you. Are you joking? You're the shittest loser I've ever seen.
So funny. So funny, but this is normal compared to the show that comes next. So I don't know if you're going to do an impression. I really don't. I hope you are. I'm just concerned for people's ears, so just be aware.
Sean Mooney with the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh.
Warrior immediately cuts Mooney off, screaming, "You are just an animal! You don't deserve to breathe the same way that Hulk Hogan and I do!" Warrior asks Hogan the same question about immortality. "I come, Hulk Hogan, to take your beliefs further than you ever could. Hulk Hogan!" Warrior wants to unite the Warriors and Hulkamaniacs, not destroy them.
God, can't breathe.
That is exactly what he sounds like to me.
I've just put, I have not one clue what he said, apart from take a drink every time he says Hulk Hogan. They're the
Hogan.
They're the only words I could decipher.
It's a bit much, isn't it? Right, I paused that to give Holly a bit of recovery time because we lost her for a few minutes there.
I can't with these.
And I'm really sorry for your ears because there's no way that is not going to suck, by the way.
Absolutely not. That's why I thought, if you do, I'll give a little warning, but I wasn't prepared.
That's pretty much the end of the segment.
Oh, thank God.
Match time.
Yes.
The Orient Express with Mr. Fuji versus the Rockers.
Yes.
The most I am from Japan and that is my entire identity theme songs I have ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
It is. It's almost like da 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 dun 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 dun. It's like not a million miles off. Seriously, like listen to it back. It's exactly like that. Still love the Rockers' entrance music, but it doesn't hit the same when they aren't running.
Yeah, true.
So they're coming in on the plinth and it's not got the same energy.
True.
It's like, imagine, we don't see it later on, imagine Warrior came out on the plinth to
yeah, it wouldn't work, would it?
No.
But I was happy to see them.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah, because you probably thought we're probably going to get a good match here.
Yeah.
Tanaka and Jannetty kick this one off, and I noticed the Rockers could be called the Neon Zebras in that gear.
Oh.
You tell me that they don't look like Neon Zebras. They're wearing like glow stick green.
I like it.
And I'm not saying I don't like it.
I can't see the outlines of their dicks this year, which is a bonus.
And you tried. Rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, Holly tried.
Give over.
I noticed you never say, I didn't see if Miss Elizabeth had much of a camel toe going on.
No.
Why?
I'm not interested in that.
There it is. There. Thank you. Right, okay. That is all the proof I needed, right? So when Holly makes out like, oh, I'm so innocent, we've just got proof there.
I'm just looking.
Yeah, you're not buying.
Hello. Very good.
Stereophonics?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Called the Neon Zebras, so they've been bullet for them. Tanaka with right hands, but Marty drops him with one of his own. Thrust kick by Tanaka sends Jannetty into the corner, and Sato whips his partner into a corner splash.
Yep.
Power slam by Marty levels the playing field.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good actually.
Yeah.
Double team hip toss and elbow drops to Sato before kip ups and pressing Tanaka. Sorry, no, let's start that again. Double team hip toss and elbow drops to Sato before kip ups, and then they press Tanaka like a missile into Sato.
I enjoyed all of that.
I thought that was great.
Yes.
Even if I did butcher it at the first attempt.
Well.
Stereo slingshot crossbodies by the Rockers to the floor on the Orient Express.
Great.
Good.
Brilliant. So far. So
and I
good.
just put, what a fun tag team.
Aren't they just?
3 horrendous mullets in this match. Pat Tanaka's deserves a specific shout out as it is fucking outrageous. It's the longest mullet I think I've ever seen in my life. Jannetty has a side headlock on Tanaka, but is low bridged by Sato, although they claim it was Mr. Fuji as he's pushed off. Kane's shot to the back was definitely Mr. Fuji.
Yep.
And Marty jumps into the air on the cell job, which looked ridiculous, but actually I can imagine if you got hit, you would kind of...
wince
and jump. Sato sends Jannetty face first into the ring post, and we get a lovely sell from the impact.
Yes,
a really good sell.
We do.
Back in the ring, and Tanaka unloads with rights before tagging, and both members of the Express lay the boots in. Monsoon notes, he called out something to his partner. In Japanese, of course. Well, thanks for fucking clarifying that one, Gorilla.
Oh, God.
Sato with 2 chops before Tanaka returns.
Oh, yeah.
Marty brilliantly lands on his feet off a backdrop, and I knew you'd love that.
I love that.
And tags Sean.
Yes.
Stereo super kicks by the Rockers, although one was a little bit late. Body slam by Sean, and a backdrop follows.
Yes.
Sato then gets tagged back in. Yeah, that's right. Michaels avoids a backdrop by countering with a swinging net breaker. Well-placed kick, though, by Tanaka. From the apron, drops Sean as he hits the rope, so kind of caught him right behind the head, which was good.
Yes, it was.
Gut wrench buster by Sato looks very good, because it looked like he was going to send him up for a suplex and then just brought him down on it, which I thought was a nice little twist. Tanaka with a last minute 180 standing crossbody on Sean looked even better.
That was ridiculous.
It was like blindsided, look over your shoulder.
So good.
Very good. I don't think I've ever seen that before either.
No.
Really good. Probably because it's dangerous as shit. Body slam by Tanaka leads to a top rope knee drop by Sato, but a lax cover only gets a 2 count.
Yeah.
Double trap hold by Sato, which you wouldn't expect from this level of match. And the Orient Express take over with quick tags.
Yeah.
You're about to say?
The bit where I've put the trapezius nerves are worked on Michaels, right? This was my only not only downside, but the downside of that match. When I watched that, I was like, your hands are free though. Like,
yeah, but
his hands are completely free. Like, he could have done something.
Yeah. I would be willing to bet if I tried to claw onto that nerve for you, you would tense up.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I would. But
so
it was not the illusion, because it's not an illusion, but it's the way his arms are out, they're splayed.
Splayed.
Yeah?
No, I'm happy with that. I wasn't expecting
so
to come
to me,
like
the
that.
reaction that you would have if someone's doing that to you is not the reaction his body was showing, which is why it didn't work for me.
Okay, so he was like that instead of being...
Yeah, like for me, it was scrunched up, and then I'm not going to argue with you about... Not you, I mean him.
Yeah.
About doing something with your hands.
No, I'll give you that. I will certainly give you that.
Thank you.
Sean fights back, and a wicked clothesline turns Tanaka inside out, or as I call it, a better version of the Steve Corino cell.
Ooh.
Both men are down now.
Absolutely.
Jannetty with a hot tag, and he hits rights to both Express members.
Doesn't he?
Express makes me think of work. Jumping back elbow drops Tanaka, and we see a classic double noggin knocker.
Hey!
Sato misses... Do you know what? Like, the noggin knocker is the pleasing version of older shows as to how we react to the more modern day dick punches from the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
So we get here a noggin knocker and we go, yay, dick punch. Like, ugh.
I know.
Completely two different ends of the spectrum there.
Literally.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Brilliant. Very... Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
That's good, yeah.
Thank you.
Props. Sato misses an elbow and hits his own partner.
Of course.
Well, yeah, absolutely, because the faces never do that unless they're breaking up like Strikeforce last year.
God.
Also, that means faces are proper pussies on that as well. Because the one time it happens to a face, he goes, no, I'm not playing.
And then
walks off. Whereas the heels go, shit happens.
Yeah.
Although Andre. But that's because Heenan slapped him. Andre didn't kick off for no reason.
No.
Yep, my logic is okay.
Okay.
Double drop kick by the Rockets. The Rockets! I've done what your autocorrect does. Double drop kick by the Rockers sends Sato to the floor.
Yes.
And a huge twisting backdrop on Tanaka.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of lands on his hip. That's got to suck.
Yeah, that has to.
Rockers go up top, but Mr. Fuji hits the ankle of Marty with his cane. He's like a little ankle biter of a dog, isn't he?
Yes.
Jannetty picks the cane up after Fuji dropped it, but Sato blinds him with a ceremonial salt to the eyes.
It was all going so well.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Marty falls into the fans, which I actually quite liked.
That was clever.
And you see Shawn Michaels walk past and go, "You're right."
Yeah.
And then carry on. Doesn't help him
He
at all.
doesn't help him out, does he?
Bell sounds. The Rockers have been counted out.
Yeah.
What a shit ending that is.
Yeah. So bad.
Yeah.
Actually, really good match.
I agree.
Really good.
It was, I think, content-wise, up until the finish, the best match so far.
100%.
By a good distance.
By far.
So, what did you score it when all things are factored in?
2.25. Oh, no.
3 stars. I would
have given it a 3 if it didn't have that shite ending.
I agree. It's not necessarily Orient Express winning that I've got the issue with.
No,
it
not at all. Because they're good.
Yeah. It was how stupid the ending was.
Yeah, I don't like endings like that, as we know.
So I won't dock it as harsh.
Yeah.
I will either give it 2.5 or 2.75.
Yeah.
I'll say 2.75, just that my qualm is that ending specifically, because it was going well.
Such a good match.
It was.
Up until that point.
But the Rockers haven't had a bad match yet.
No.
I mean, they've only had 2, but they haven't had a bad one.
But when do we not see them anymore as a tag team?
You've got one more Mania.
One more. See, again, you give to me with one hand, then you take them away with the other.
I'll give you both hands if you like.
But actually, I get to keep Sean, so we're fine.
You do get to keep Sean. I'm trying to think if they have what the match is at 8. I think Michaels is by himself come WrestleMania 8. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll see.
Because we might have a story for that show when we get there potentially. But I think I might be one off.
Okay.
But fine. Steve Allen with Rhythm and Blues. Wasn't as good as the first one, but wasn't as bad as the third time we see Steve Allen on the night. Mm-hmm. So obviously they've gone, well, we don't have Bob Uecker now. Who can we get to do this kind of gimmick? So Steve Allen starts with a great line. I'm not going to lie. He says, they've been described as one of the best new bands in the music industry today, but they couldn't be here. So let me introduce instead the Honky Tonk Man and Greg Valentine.
Yeah, that was funny.
I will tell you, Holly.
Yes.
You know what isn't better than a knockoff Elvis? 2 knockoff Elvis.
Yeah, I was well confused because I was like, hang on, I literally went, where is he? As in Valentine.
Honky Hammer were together.
Honky Hammer. I'm so glad you remember their proper name.
Their proper name, yes. Their
Hammer.
God-given name, yes.
But Valentine's got dark hair.
He does. I think I've got a story on that coming up shortly, in fact.
Oh, okay.
In fact, you know what? I'll mention it now. So, actually, no, I won't. No, I'll save it.
See, you're 100% doing this. You give with one hand, and you taketh away.
Yeah, well, I said I could give with both hands and take with both hands as well. It's I don't mind. I'm malleable. We then learn that Hucka Hucka Honky Love is their new song. Steve continues his comedy, and it's just no sold, which I actually thought was good because every time he gave him a dig, they just did nothing with it. Greg then says, "We're off on our way to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame," and then Steve Allen goes, "Thanks. I'll warn them you're coming."
Yeah,
good line.
It is amusing.
Good start line, good end line.
Yeah.
Don't care about the in-between bit.
No, absolutely not.
Match time.
Yeah.
Dino Bravo, who we now learnt of his horrible demise.
I know.
With Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart
and
Earthquake for some reason.
Well, I wonder.
Versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Got a sweet spot for old Hacksaw.
Sweetest man ever.
Lovely, and that will make more sense in the coming weeks of the show. So Dino has upgraded himself to being the world's strongest man, not just Canada's.
Oh no!
These days, so that's good to know.
Also, I'm going to assume at some point you do some form of voice in here at some point.
We'll see. We'll see. Jess calls Duggan what?
Oh.
Jess calls Duggan an idiot. I missed out that key part of it for bringing a US flag. And whilst that is a bit harsh, when Duggan starts going USA, it's hard to argue Jess's point on this one.
Yeah.
Ho! Is that what you wanted?
There it is, yeah, that's all I wanted.
The ho's fine, because that's not a national thing, but he clearly, on more than one occasion, tries to go, USA!
Yeah, it's
that
like he momentarily forgets.
And you hear some of the crowd, they don't chant, but they don't boo, and then you start to hear them boo a little bit. And it's just it's missing the mark. But I don't know if, like I said, I would love to ask Duggan if he was doing that intentionally, just to I don't know, or if because his character's a bit of a goof. Let's be fair. Yeah. Was that supposed to be like, I'm just going to do my whole thing, regardless of where I go, it will work? So I'm sure he probably would have done it in the UK as well. To be fair, or was it just like a momentary lapse, and instead of just doing whole, he forgot?
Who knows?
I'd like to know. So Duggan, if you're listening, please let us know. So Canadians, being polite, only slightly boo him though. Yeah. They didn't full on boo him. They're just like, no, stop it. Now we're going to boo you a bit. 18 hoes, and the match hasn't started as Duggan chases Hart and Bravo out of the ring. Mm-hmm. Monsoon argues the presence of Earthquake, saying he shouldn't be there. Jess asks, how do you know that? Gorilla informs us that you can't have a wrestling and manager's license at the same time. Tremendous bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's not a thing. But it's a great bullshit answer to come up with, because then Jess is like, oh. Yeah. But my question would be, now correct me if I'm wrong, Bobby the Brain Heenan would assume has a manager's license, wouldn't he? Because he's a manager.
But he wrestled at
the last... He had a match last WrestleMania, didn't he?
And the one before, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah, with the Islanders. Dog suit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old Bobby. Oh, I love you. Oh. Honestly, I don't get tired of that man. I really don't. Duggan uses the 2x4 as a gun and looks down the sight of the wood.
Yes.
Fine.
Hey, haven't we all? Oh, you'd like that?
I don't know what you mean.
No. Oh, never mind.
Can you elaborate?
No.
Demonstration? Shoulder tackle. Neither man moves. Clothesline by Duggan and a backdrop before a second clothesline sends Bravo to the floor.
Doesn't it just?
Yeah. Hart helps Dino up. Must say, Hart dressing like the part of whoever he's managing. It's good.
Yeah.
Like his jacket was very French Canadian.
Okay.
With like the kind of the Montreal symbol on there. I like it. It's very few things I'm going to compliment Joey Hart on because I find him irritating. He's my Alfonso, by the way.
Okay.
So I find him very, very irritating at the best of times, but that part of it works.
Okay.
So when he like later manages Hogan in WCW, he's got a full-on red and yellow
see.
gear, and it looks good.
Okay.
You're not even allowing that, are you?
No, I like the contrast though of the wrestler's gear because it's just light blue and dark blue. It's just
Isn't
a nice
that too
little...
close for you?
No, I don't mind it because the light blue is very light
It's
blue.
powder blue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like very light. Fancy.
The interior designer and me coming out there. Back in the ring, and 2 blocked punches result in an atomic drop from Hacksaw.
Mm-hmm.
Corner punches follow.
Oh, I like to call them the Sesame Street punches.
The 1, 2...
Every time they come up, they are in my phone as the Sesame Street punches.
I can go with that if that's what you want.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, I think the door was opened a little bit too much on the comedy match early because Jess thinks it's open season for fat people. And he rinses Gorilla for pretty much the entirety of this match for eating too many hot dogs. He goes,
all it did though was made me want a hot dog.
yeah, tell me about it. He said, look at you got mustard all over you, Gorilla.
It's so funny.
He's like, I haven't touched a one, Jess.
It was so random. But all I could think in this was, I'm not paying any attention to this match. I'm just listening to hot dog talk and wanting hot dogs.
I can't even think of the last time I had a hot dog. The one thing I don't like... We'll just go talk about food now for a second.
Oh, yum.
The one thing that I don't like about hot dog, and this is more because of facial hair...
Oh,
because when you bite it, then the sauce...
Does it get stuck in your tongue?
Yeah, and then you just... It's the same with like a top donut, if anything's got a glaze on it.
Oh, yeah.
When you
Why
bite
are you
into
looking
it...
at me like that? That's so weird.
Because you like donuts.
Yeah, I do.
Like a good glazed donut. And then you bite into it, and then especially if it's been like a kind of slightly warm day and it's not fully set, and then it kind of
what about
sticky.
a sugary jam donut? Does the sugar go everywhere?
See, that's a different issue. So yeah, the sugar does,
Yeah.
and it can get sticky. But the worst part is if you misjudge where the jam's going to fire out of.
Oh yeah, because it comes out the back sometimes.
It does come out the back.
Oh,
sometimes you hit the front so hard the back doesn't know what to do with itself.
Sometimes. Oh, no, I'm so hungry. This is ridiculous.
Same. I'm already thinking what I'm going to eat after
hot
this.
Dogs and
it won't be
donuts.
hot dogs because I don't have any, but that'd be nice.
All right, Deliveroo.
Where delivers hot dogs?
I don't know.
Exactly. Come on, get your head in the game, Holly, for fuck's sake. I completely lost where we are. Oh yeah, because Gorilla is a fat bitch is the last thing I've got here. An awkward punch clothesline from Bravo drops Duggan, as do 3 thrusts to the throat.
Ooh.
Jess says Gorilla is covered. I need to stop making weird eye contact on those comments.
Yeah.
It's because I'm expecting you to laugh, and then I realise I'm just like, fancy a go.
That is how it looks, I'll be honest.
I know. She didn't say no. Jess says Gorilla is covered in mustard and is a mess. Dino connects with an inverted atomic drop. Meanwhile, wrestling's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, this match kind of lost flow for me.
Just a bit.
Because I was just listening to... And we know from previous matches, whatever I've watched, if I'm listening to commentary...
It's not a good sign.
It's not the one.
To be fair, the commentary is outrageous in this one.
It's
so
funny.
I understand why you stopped listening to it.
Very funny.
Bravo chokes Duggan. As we learn, Jess doesn't like Duggan as he's just plain ugly. Seems unreasonable.
It does, doesn't it?
Dino hits an elbow and gets a near fall. Duggan is introduced to the buckles, but no sells it.
No.
He fires back, but ducks too early and gets a kick to the face. Hacksaw does get a knee up off a corner charge though. Clothesline by Duggan, 3 in fact.
Yep.
Earthquake then tussles with Duggan as Hart throws the 2x4 to Dino.
Stupid.
Hacksaw stamps on Bravo's fingers, which is pretty good actually as he goes to pick it up, hits him with the 2x4 and gets the 1, the 2, the 3.
Yep.
After the match, Earthquake drops Duggan and hits 2 elbows and 3 aftershock whoopsies. what do you think of the match?
That's not a position I'd ever want to be in, that close to this guy's crotch. 1, too much interference for me, and this would have been as much as I enjoy Duggan, this would have been beer run for me.
I know.
Yeah.
Also, so they've obviously wanted Earthquake to actually properly put someone in trouble.
Yes.
Hercules.
Yeah, I know.
Why bring him out for this at all?
And to me, it would have looked more impressive doing it to Hercules and Duggan as well.
No, I think Duggan's a bigger name.
No, but I mean, like, body-wise.
No, Duggan's bigger. Like, he's not
muscly.
As visibly muscly, but
he's
in every other stature, he's bigger.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Hercules isn't the tallest of guys.
Oh, no, I'm saying that. I'm just saying.
No, fair enough. I just didn't understand why they just didn't do it to Hercules.
Yeah.
1.5 stars is what Dave gave it. I agree with you. 1.
Yeah, okay. Not too far off, apart from the ridiculous ones.
Well, yeah. Backstage. Well, not backstage, but we get a Ted DiBiase and Jake Roberts video.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Jake's just got out of the shower, is my first note. Why is he so wet? Why are they all so wet when they're backstage? He just looks like he got out of the shower.
Yeah, okay. But we're not quite there yet.
No, but, okay, you do you, and then I'll harp on.
I'll do me, and then you do you, okay? We see Deebs lock in the $1 Million Dream as Jake was looking to release Damien onto Virgil.
Oh, yeah.
Deebs then 6 months later challenges Roberts to come after the $1 Million title, and the two have a brawl. That's basically the gist of the build-up. So the match,
yes.
Ted DiBiase with Virgil, his bodyguard, versus Jake the Snake Roberts.
Okay.
First point, yes, exclamation mark. We hear one of my favourite old school wrestling entrances. Finally, he gets his music.
Oh.
Money, money,
yeah,
money,
happy about
money,
that.
money. Yeah, I loved it. Loved it. Assuming you didn't.
Just didn't really care. Sorry. I know. Just didn't really care.
You know a person, and then they throw a dagger.
I know.
Throw a dagger like that.
I know. But before we even get the music, we do have a little chat with Jake, though.
We get the music, he comes out, and then we go.
Oh, do we?
Because I wouldn't have written it down as a match start.
Oh, see, I've made 0 notes until Jake starts talking.
Wet. We see Jake Roberts give a masterclass of a promo.
Thank you. There we go.
Saying he will teach DiBiase a lesson in humility. After making all these people demean themselves for money, how fitting that Ted will need to grovel for his own. DiBiase is a victim of his own greed, wallowing in the muck of avarice. Fucking excellent, Jake.
Do you know what? He is the only person that gives a promo that I listen to. And it's 100% what he says. Doesn't need to shout. And it makes me listen immediately.
Yeah, it's so good, isn't it?
Immediately.
And this is one of his good ones as well.
I just do want to know why he's so wet. Like, he just looked like he'd had a shower.
Well, I think he shared one with Rude. I could be wrong.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, you're not sure how you feel about that now.
No.
But the idea behind what Ted DiBiase was doing and what Jake Roberts was referencing here is, and there's a very famous clip on this, he would challenge people to do something which was a bit demeaning or trivial for them to try and earn some money, which he would then give them. They'd obviously find a way to not do it. And there was one where there was this little boy who was maybe 4 or 5 years old. The guy that gave him a basketball and said, bounce that 10 times. If you bounce it 10 times, you get like $100.
Yeah.
Okay? 1, 2. The kid's proper little. 3, 4. Gets to 8, 9. Ball kicked away from him.
Aww.
And he goes... And looks up, and I am convinced the kid did not know that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's on the verge of tears.
Aww.
And the $1 Million Man starts laughing and goes, close but no cigar type thing.
Yeah.
And just, that's it. And I'll always remember that clip. And I was thinking, what a dick. Even though when I was obviously young as well, I was like, what a horrible man. Like, that's horrible. How could you do that? So that's kind of the stuff that Jake Roberts is referring to.
But now in later life, you find that funny?
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I mean, you tell me, like, you don't see, like, an annoying... I'm not saying this kid was annoying, but an annoying kid doing something, you just think, trip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, come on, you don't want to sound like a bad person,
No,
but I can tell by your face.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone has those thoughts. I'm not saying go out and, like, kick them in the head and push them over and stuff.
Absolutely not.
But I don't know if I shared this story on air before. I told you about the interaction at the McDonald's establishment, didn't I? So there was another interaction that I had at Centre Parks.
Yeah.
We'd rented the bicycles.
Yes.
We were going bicycles, bikes. I don't know why. Sorry, I just realised why I gave it the formal term there.
We were entered the penny farthings.
We did, yes. And as I was twiddling one's moustache, we're just cycling back from, I think we'd had dinner somewhere, and we were cycling back to the lodge. And God, I've changed, haven't I? I've changed. And this family were cycling in the other direction. There's enough space that people can get by each other without colliding. But their kid, who must have been about 7, 8, I'd guess, was serpentining on his bike.
Okay.
And I was just going in a straight line, and I was looking at the trajectory he was going on. I was like, he's going to be very close to hitting my bike here.
Yeah.
And I was like, but his parents are watching him the whole time because they're behind him facing the same way.
Yeah.
They're not saying anything. Okay. I carry on going. He goes past me, and I feel him swoop, hits my back wheel.
Oh, what, with his front wheel?
Yeah, I'm more sturdy than he is. I stay up, carry on cycling.
Yeah.
I just get like a little that and carry on. And I just hear him on the floor. Smiled on my face, carried on going. That's not my issue.
No, that's not.
And like, you know, you should go, oh, if you're all right. No, the whole time the parents say, you know, Dylan, stop fucking around. Or, you know,
whatever the name of the kid
not
was.
in those words necessarily.
But you never know.
Yeah, well, exactly. I don't know. It's not for me to judge. But yeah, and I was just like,
fair.
Yeah. So everyone can have those kind of things. Anyway, kind of taking a little bit away from DiBiase and Roberts here, I feel. The match begins, and we again see a nice contrasting colours.
Yes,
Colours.
we do.
With the pink and the black.
Mm-hmm.
The match begins. Oh no, we've already just literally said that line, Scott. Both men shove each other and throw right hands before aggressively locking up. Yes, give me this. It was like felt more like a fight. It's like there was animosity there.
Mm-hmm.
Shoulder block followed by a knee lift from Jake.
Yep.
He looks for the DDT, but DiBiase scurries out.
Yes. I want to know if you've written down anything about commentary here.
What, at this particular moment, or just in this match?
I think it's coming.
Okay, well, we'll find out. Back in the ring, and Jake hits hip toss, but misses an elbow drop, as Jess has another pop at Gorilla for eating hot dogs.
There it is. Thank you very much.
Deebs misses an elbow of his own, and once again pulls away from a DDT, as Jake is visibly frustrated now by this.
Yes.
But it's good, because you would want to hit that move, because that finishes it.
Yep.
He backs too close to Damien and has to avoid a third DDT attempt. I said it's a fun start to this match. It's quite good because they're teasing the danger of that move at any moment.
Yep.
Jake drags Deebs back into the ring and lifts him in the air with a straight arm lock.
I enjoy that. Just looks impressive.
It does, and also
awkward.
Yeah, especially I just imagine being lifted like that and the whole time be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when you miss a step.
Yes.
And that same reaction. I feel like, yeah, exactly that.
This is how I'm going to die.
2 inches.
Yeah.
Hammerlock takes Deebs to the canvas, and Jake drives a series of knees into the shoulder blade. The Snake is talking to Ted, telling him to quit. I like that.
Yes.
Standing Hammerlock gets reversed by Jake. Oh, sorry, no, gets reversed, but Jake starts running and drops, sending DiBiase through the ropes to the floor.
Yes.
Clever. We saw that recently on a WWE show we saw. I can't remember who did it now. I remember saying, I love that.
Yeah. Clever.
And I still love it now. Deebs goes to wave off the match, but Jake retrieves him and throws him back in the ring. He ducks too early, though, and takes an elbow for his troubles. Boot up on a corner charge by Jake, but his knee lift is swiped and he goes flying off the buckles.
No, I don't like that.
Because he lands on his shoulders and near his neck.
Like feet still in the air, like
on the ropes.
Oh, no,
that was good.
Thank you.
No, really like that. Knees and stomps by Deebs as something is going on in the crowd. And I can't work it out. I'll work it out in a second, so don't worry.
Okay.
Gorilla is getting tired of the hot dog comments too at this point. He's getting. You can just tell he's just getting annoyed by it.
Yeah.
Front face look by Deebs, and Jess answers my question as it's a Mexican wave.
Oh yes, it is, because I've got apparently the Mexican wave here is more important than this match.
Yep. I put here. I wonder if like Mexican food does that also give you the shits, Jess? The cameras show us the wave, which is mad when you think about it.
I mean, it is crazy, but also I don't need... show me the match instead.
When I said it's mad, it's not mad that they're doing a wave. Yeah. It's mad that they went, oh, fuck that, let's go and see what the crowd are doing.
And they proper pan away from the actual ring. I'm like, hello?
But it was just so loud to the point where I felt like they couldn't ignore what was happening.
No.
Because when I hear something like that, my brain thinks, are two people having a scuffle?
I see, my brain goes, who's coming out?
Oh, okay. But they were doing it from the wrong side.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't know why me turning my head helps there, because that doesn't make any difference. Jake is kicked to the floor and Deebs pulls him into the post. Brutal looking pile driver on Jake.
No, thank you. That looks awful.
His head was low on that
Yes,
as well.
it was.
But a very delayed cover on Roberts, which he then reverses for a 2 count.
Yes.
A series of knees to the back before Ted locks on the $1 Million Dream.
Nice.
Roberts just about makes the ropes though.
Yes.
Penn gets a near fall. Deebs takes flight from the second rope but gets a gut punch and clothesline.
Mm-hmm.
Inverse Atomica drop.
Atomica?
Inverse Atomica drop. Inverse Atomic drop and second clothesline as the crowd start chanting DDT.
Yes.
DDT. We get a backdrop instead.
Yep.
Short arm clothesline, which is normally Jake's set up for the DDT, and Jake signals that the DDT is going to be done, but he is pulled to the floor by Virgil, who gets a body slam for his troubles.
Oh, that's fucking weird. Right? Jake's pulled out by Virgil, who gets a slam for his troubles. It's fucking weird.
You're picking up some of my vernacular
Yeah.
and I'm getting some of yours
I
now.
know.
We're merging into one human.
Oh.
That's worrying. DiBiase applies the $1 Million Dream on the floor, but is run into the ring post. At this point, I'll be honest, I thought they're going to do a double count out here.
Yeah.
Virgil rolls Deebs back into the ring and Jake gets counted out. Shit ending.
Yes.
So it wasn't a double count out.
Another absolutely wank ending.
Mm-hmm. Usually I like wank endings as well, but
Yeah,
not in this context.
So I've heard.
By who? Don't answer. Roberts clotheslines both men and Cash goes flying. I noticed he started pocketing it, but he did something with it in a second.
Yeah.
Virgil is whipped into Ted and Virgil flees with a $1 Million title.
Yeah, that works.
DDT finally connects on Deebs and Jake hands out the money to the fans.
In my head, I wrote down snake time. Because, why not?
That's the third date. So is this the third
Snake
main?
time. Oh my god. Can you stop?
Can I stop? If I
Give
could, I
away all
would.
my secrets.
Oh, come on. It's not a hard rule, so to speak. He does, however, put one bill in Ted's mouth, which is what Ted used to do to his opponents. He used to just pop one in their gob, so to speak.
Nice.
As Jake, well, it depends on the note. If it's 100, pop it in, son.
Oh yeah.
Pop it in wherever you like, actually.
Oh god.
As Jake takes Damien out of the bag, Virgil reappears and pulls Ted to safety as Jake and Damien pursue.
Yes.
What did you score this match, Holly?
2. A straight 2. Because up until this point, it's similar for me to the Rockers match. Like, it was good.
Yep.
There was a lot of content in there. Nothing really annoyed me. Actually decent. And then the ending is wank.
I agree. I feel like this actually showed both men fairly well. I'll be honest, I think for the wank ending it had,
Yeah.
a little bit too long. They could have cut some of the slightly long rest holds a bit shorter.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's just nitpicking. 2.5 stars is what Dave gave it.
Okay.
I would probably go closer to 2,
Yeah.
maybe 2.25. I don't think I'm going as high as 2.5 for it.
No.
But at least it was a better match for both men because they've had a couple stinkers.
Yes, I was going to say, we haven't had that many... Like, Jake, I think, has been done dirty in a lot of the matches that we have seen him
The
in
rude
thus
match,
far. Yeah.
just that time limit snorefest.
Yeah.
Andre, I mean, my
Well,
God, he did
yeah.
the best he could with that.
Mm-hmm.
The good one was with George Wells, was it, from
Yes.
WrestleMania 2? That was decent. And 3 was it Honky Tonk Man, and he got the roll up. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so... Oh, with
Yeah.
Alice Cooper.
Oh, yeah,
forgot
of course
about
it was.
But I'm not, against Dave's reckoning on this one. It's
No,
just not
fine.
quite what I think. Sean Mooney interviews Akeem and Slick. Mooney asks about the splitting of the Twin Towers, and Slick just says, "Money is what it's all about."
Yes, he does.
That's fine.
It's very loud.
It was very loud. I would say sorry, but I'd be lying a little bit, so let's deal with it. Basically, Bossman wouldn't be bribed.
Mm-hmm.
Akeem says that 2 things don't last long in this world: dogs that chase cars and lawmen that don't take bribes. Or, third option, buffets when this greedy bastard is in town.
I've put that I think wherever they're doing the interviews, they've turned the heat up.
Oh, sweaty.
Everyone is so fucking sweaty.
They've got a sheen, haven't they?
Yes.
Mean Gene then interviews Big Boss Man.
Mm.
Boss Man's uniform has a Confederate flag on the shoulder. That's quite unfortunate, isn't it?
Oh,
Hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Boss Man refers to DiBiase as scum, and he doesn't take money from scum, or anyone, apparently. So why specify scum? He also, so is he doing this for free?
Well,
He doesn't do nothing for money. Okay.
I don't do nothing for money.
Refers to Slick as a skinny pimp and Akeem as an African tribal reject.
Okay.
Calls Akeem fat. I was like, mate, you've only just slimmed down yourself, Porky.
Yeah,
So
I was going to say he's looking trimmer here.
He is. And that's pretty much it. He just says he's proud to be an American.
Yeah.
Not bad intensity promo-wise, actually. I thought that was quite good for Bossman, if I'm being honest.
I mean, the promos were better than what follows, in my humble opinion.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Akeem with Slick versus the Big Boss Man.
Yeah.
Akeem's dance looks like when an infant is trying to put his arm into a coat sleeve.
Oh, I see what you're... Yeah, I get that. Like, they've got one arm in already and they're trying to get the other hand awkwardly in.
Yeah.
I wish everyone else could see you do the dance, I'll be honest.
Well, it's just... Are we calling that a dance?
No.
Well, exactly.
Let's be clear.
Exactly. Pimp Step Dancing by the Slickster.
Oh.
And we now hear another legendary entrance theme from the Big Boss Man.
I love it. So good.
Good, isn't it?
This is the best part of the whole match.
time.
Yeah, it's so good.
Apparently Deebs was ringside all along.
Yeah.
And he clotheslines and body slams Bossman on the floor before the match starts. Elbow drop and Bossman is rolled into the ring where Akeem can pound away. The ring post cell that he was thrown into as well, just before that was good.
Yes, that was actually.
Avalanche corner splash by Akeem.
Yeah.
Holly, why does Bossman have his shirt buttons undone but still tucks it in?
Such a good point. Such a good point. He's really hot from being backstage, so he thought, I'll just undo a couple of these buttons, and then forgot to do them up when he came out.
Well, to me it feels like wearing a suit but slipping a bollock out, like our good friend Wayne would do.
Yeah.
It's kind of negates what you've
Flies
gone for.
undone, but, you know. Yeah, fair.
Power kick out by Bossman before an elbow strike has him bounce off the second rope, which I know you like, when he just falls, rebounds up.
I do like that.
I thought you'd comment on it as well.
No, I didn't. I do like that, though.
A corner hump by Akeem, because that's, honest to God, that is what it is.
Yes.
Who does Sesame Street punches.
Thank you.
Until Bossman sort of hits an inverse atomic drop, not quite. Because Gorilla's ready to see up, says, oh, look at that power move. And he goes, well, he tried a power move there.
Yeah.
Lovely big boot does connect.
Yeah.
And he runs Akeem into the buckles. Repeated corner whips and a big clothesline connects. As does the Bossman slam, if we're giving him credit for that. And 1, 2, 3, this one is over.
Yes.
Bossman grabs Slick and after an age, hits him with a big right.
Yeah.
That's about it. What did you score this?
1.25.
0.5 stars.
Honestly, I actually can't argue against it. Fine. I gave it 1.25. And do you know where I think most of the point came from?
The entrance theme?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case.
100%.
Yeah, I think it's a dud, so I'd say 0.
Yeah, that's why I think earlier, there was the effective, in inverted commas, comedy match.
Yeah.
This is a nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, pointless.
Yep.
It's not even long enough for you to go and get a beer.
No, I know.
Like, anyway.
It wasn't good. It was definitely the worst match of the show.
Mm-hmm.
We then see Sean Mooney in the crowd. Mooney asks the kid if he's looking forward to hearing Rhythm and Blues' new song.
This kid is great.
No, they can't sing or dance or do anything.
Harsh but fair, little man.
Funny.
I don't care what it is, but they can't do anything.
And with that, Valentine and Honky are buried.
Yeah, brilliant.
Mooney asks a girl if she knows the name of the song. And she makes a decent attempt at trying to say it.
Yes, she does.
Now, this is where it gets weird. Mary Tyler Moore is asked if she's having a good time, but Mooney pulls the mic away mid-answer.
Yes, doesn't he?
Mary said it's the best of athletics and theatre, and she has never seen anything like it, which I fully believe.
Yes.
She probably never sees anything like it again, if I'm a betting man. Oh, this is so uncomfortable. She's asked about attending next year and having Honky Tonk Man albums. She goes, sure.
Yeah, that's one of those responses where you're like, no.
I don't know what's happening.
But just say yes.
Mooney, not picking up on the signals, continues.
Yeah.
He asks if Honky Tonk Man reminds her of Elvis. She goes, yeah. He then says, well, who does the Valentine remind you of? She goes, Elvis? And shrugs.
Yeah.
And Mooney tells us that he thought it was more of a cross between Orbison and Cash.
Yeah.
No one asked you.
Also, leave Johnny Cash alone.
Leave Johnny Cash alone?
Yes.
Yeah, this could really hurt him.
No, not about it.
Song hurt.
No, I know.
Okay, you just...
No, I
I
did
was making
deadpan you, sorry.
joke, you kind of sandbagged me on that
No,
one a bit. But
sorry.
that's fine. I just gave you the best impressions of my life, but it's fine. We then see Rhythm and Blues come to the ring.
Ugh.
We see both men and Jimmy Hart sat atop the back of a pink Cadillac. It's the honky tonk man, it's the honky tonk man, it's the honky tonk man. Holly, do you know who's driving this car?
No.
It's me, it's DDP.
Shut up. Is it?
Yeah, he owned a pink Cadillac, so they
How do
asked.
I not notice this stuff?
Because no
To
one
be
knew
honest,
who he
I'd
was.
switched off as well by this point.
But this was
Oh.
1990. He
And
wasn't
he didn't
even.
look how I would assume.
He had his
know
ponytail,
him
but he had
looking.
he had a chauffeur
Oh.
set up on. But basically, he had a pink Cadillac, so they asked him to do this because in the song it says, "In my pink Cadillac is the honky tonk."
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this was
Oh.
before he was even really wrestling
Yeah.
in WCW. So
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, that's his
Little facts there.
first WrestleMania appearance. Won't
Wow.
make another one until 18.
Jesus.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
That is.
Second story, one after the other, rapid fire for you. Valentine hated this gimmick.
Not
Hated.
surprised.
Didn't want to do it, had no interest, didn't want to dye his hair.
No.
It's so out of... Because Greg the Hammer Valentine, even though he does that stupid timber cell,
Ugh.
was always a straight-laced wrestler, wasn't he? He was a
Right, yeah.
throwback a little bit, old school.
Yes, I'd say he's old school.
So from going to that to, by the way, we're going to put you with a honky tonk man, you're going to look a bit like Roy Orbison,
Yeah.
and that's just going to be it.
It's going to
from
be a
now
comedy
on.
duo.
He hated it, hated
not
everything
surprised.
about it. And I think he actually left the company short term for a little bit, not long after this.
See.
He did come back briefly,
Okay.
but he did go away. And interestingly, Hasbro, we're talking about the Hasbro figures
Yes.
back in the day. So Honky Tonk Man had one,
Yeah.
and there was going to be one of... I had the original Greg Valentine one where he was blonde. They were supposed to do another one where he looked in the rhythm and blues gear,
Yeah.
and they had prototypes made of it and everything, but it was never released because he left the company. And I think there was one prototype that was done of it, and Zack Ryder went and bought
Course
it.
he
This on
did.
his YouTube channel, talking about it.
Oh, I
So
love that man.
I know you do.
Ugh.
Calm down.
Sorry.
We learned the two creepy slappers are called the Honkiettes, and
Yeah.
we're ready, Honky.
Mm-hmm.
I will impersonate any fucker on this show. It turns out, won't I?
Yes.
Two random women, a child in the
Yeah.
crowd. Who cares? Honky starts singing, out of sync, out of key, out of my goddamn fucking mind.
Oh, yeah.
This is pure shite. On the plus side, Rockin' Robin did a better job than I gave her credit for last year.
I wish I could drink when I was watching this.
It gave me much more respect for Rockin' Robin.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
Because that was bad, this was different.
Yes. Not good different.
Then we suddenly see two program sellers appear, and it turns out,
Oh, yeah.
oh, hang on, they're the Bushwhackers,
Yeah.
is what HTM says there. Who they then chase off Rhythm and Blues. Butch and Luke start dicking around with the guitars before smashing them to bits, and I must say I much preferred this version.
Yeah, fine.
That's it.
But who... I watched this, and don't get me wrong, I know we watch newer WrestleManias, and there is, like, this to me is the segment of Snoop Dogg fighting The Miz for like 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a filler.
Let me answer that question with a question.
Yes.
Who makes the decisions? Who's trying to be entertained?
What do you mean?
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Who's making all these decisions, and ultimately the goal is to make sure that that person is entertained?
I see.
Vince McMahon
it's
is the answer to the question.
Then, yeah, well, it's strange.
It is. But
Strange.
ultimately, if something is taking place in the ring that you kind of think, who's enjoying this? There's one
That's
person
one
enjoying
person.
this.
Okay, right. I mean, yeah, makes sense. Still irritating as fuck, but
Agreed.
makes sense.
We then get Fink announcing a record attendance for the Skydome, which, like I said to you
Yes.
earlier, I was going to challenge, and then I thought, to be fair, the numbers
Yeah.
still might well be fabricated
Fine.
to a certain point, but I can understand how it could be because of the floor seating.
Yes. Yeah.
Next match, do you want to take this?
I hear it. I literally heard the music.
You heard everything but hello, ladies.
Yes, literally my notes say, I hear the porno music, I know who's coming. And then we get ooh, the hair is slicked back. This is different.
I knew the change in the hair would change things for you. I really did.
Yeah.
We get Rick Rude with Bobby the Brain Heenan versus Super Fly, Jimmy Snooker. As Rude comes out, the cameras focus on a clearly braless woman in the crowd.
Yeah.
A few others too. Rude wins best gear of the night for a second straight Mania. Although the image of him on the back of his tights looks more like Jack Black's character of Nacho Libre, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I see.
Like, uncannily like him at times.
His body, though, is exceptional.
Rude looks much improved with the wet hair.
Oh, doesn't he just?
And we now hear Steve Allen join commentary.
I could have done without this.
Everyone could have done without this.
Mm-hmm.
Steve is asked about rhythm and blues and says Valentine is handsome, but Snooker is ugly. What? He's obviously very confused. He thinks what's in the ring is rhythm and blues. So, okay.
I know.
Thanks. Cheers, Steve. Rude jumps Snooker from behind to start this off, but he misses a big drop kick, and you know when someone's going to miss a drop kick because they go up with their back aiming down.
I don't know. This one did confuse me though, because I don't think I heard the bell go at all.
I think it is as Rude jumps Superfly.
Okay.
I think that's when it happens. And also, what's interesting is even though he was involved in the main event of WrestleMania 1, this is Homeboy's first WrestleMania match.
Oh.
Jimmy Snooker, we haven't commented on one of his matches at all.
No. Very true.
He definitely has another WrestleMania match, and I think it's next year.
Okay.
It's 100% next year.
Okay. I don't know why you're giving me those eyes.
Because it might be the first of a streak, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Undertaker comes in. Okay.
Snooker.
Loopy.
Snooker with a flapjack before some
I'm sorry, it's funny you say this because my autocorrect
put Snooker.
Literally, and I have left it.
So Jimmy Snooker.
Yeah.
So Snooker with a flapjack before some hip gyration of his own. He's a beefy dude, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing?
No, we'll just carry on.
Backdrop and more gyration. Running, falling headbutt connects before a drop kick sends Rude to the floor. Barefoot. Not a fan.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, haven't we?
We have.
Because I always think it's funny, and I get it, but it's just a feet thing, I think.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I'm not a fan of feet.
No.
But especially, I just feel like you're asking for trouble as well.
Especially as well, you're getting into the ring and walking around. There's got to be debris everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
do you know
foot jam, like, come on.
Oh, foot jam. She fucking said it.
Sorry.
The thing that gets me is, and it's a creepy thing, is when you see them on the top rope and their toes are trying to grip
clinging.
Stuff, and I'm like, ugh.
The only person I kind of, didn't mind, but for me got away with it was Riddle. Because he came to the ring wearing
I disagree.
flip-flops, or whatever you want to call them. And I was
Bongs.
like, okay, it made it more, for me, understandable, because you're not walking on anything, because you've got shoes on, and then he used the jump and the fly off. But still, I think it's because I wouldn't want someone to hit me with their bare foot.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the bottom line.
I think 3 people.
I said so.
Because who said so? I think there are 3 people or 3 types of people that get away with it.
Yeah.
Yokozuna
Okay.
being 1. Umaga
Yes.
being 2. And the head shrinkers. And like the Samoans, the wild Samoans, so Afa and Sika. It just works.
Okay.
It works for the character.
So that's why it works for Solo.
Yes, ish. I'm still not a massive fan, but then again, I saw him wrestling boots and I thought it was weird, so it probably does work for him then. But yeah, in general, the rule for me has to be Samoan.
Okay.
And then I kind of, even on Snooker, I'm not a big fan of it, but I'll go, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Although I don't think he has, I think he wrestles in boots next WrestleMania. It'd be interesting to see.
Gosh.
From memory, this is just from memory because I haven't
Okay.
started watching the show yet, but I think he does.
Okay.
That was a weird wink, I wasn't trying to.
No, I got it, it's fine.
Sunset flip attempt by Rude fails as Superfly punches him in the head. He's also very bronzed, is old Rude.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he looks more Samoan and, or Polynesian, I should say, than Snooker. Snap suplex by Rude. What do you reckon it was his thought process? Actually, going back to just Rude's look, because the poodle hair was obviously awful.
Yes.
Slicked hair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan. If I was a girl, I'm a fan of this.
Yes.
Okay? But he looks almost like he is changing ethnicity, like he's had a varnish.
It's very
coat put on him.
tanned.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I suppose in a lot of bodybuilding competitions you do that, don't you? So it could just be that thing. It does make your muscles look more defined.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
but so that's all I can think of.
Actually, that's probably exactly it. I think you've answered the question perfectly for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
One of my mates is a bodybuilder.
Really? really?
Yeah. I
Oh.
haven't spoken to him for years, to be fair, but I see it on Facebook occasionally and like I go, oh, okay.
Crazy.
Yeah. Where are we on this? So the sunset flip. Yep, snap suplex by Rude.
Yes.
Now Rude gyrates. We're back to as things should be.
Yeah.
Snooker eats turnbuckle before being put down with a backdrop. Snooker face plants Rude into the canvas.
Yeah.
Steve takes the time to tell us that he likes Superfly because he is wearing his wife's underwear.
Yeah.
Oh, is he? That's nice, says Gorilla.
Yeah.
AKA, fuck off Steve, you dickhead.
Yeah.
Shoulder tackle by Rude before a leapfrog and flying headbutt by Snooker.
We know I'm a fan of a leapfrog, so very impressed.
He now goes up top.
Mm-hmm.
Rude is up, so Snooker just jumps over him.
Yep.
Corner whip and body slam to Rude. Second rope headbutt misses though, and a
Yeah.
Rude awakening connects, and we get the 1, the 2, the 3.
Yes.
Rick Rude is your winner. Holly,
Yay.
score it.
I scored it a 2.5, pushing to a 2.75, I'll be honest, because for me, this match finished right, it had content, wasn't too long. Thank you.
I'd give it a 2.
Yep.
1.75.
Fuck off.
You're falling out with Dave on this one, aren't you?
Damn.
You've come close on 2.
He's all over the gaff and so
he
am I.
is. But like the things that we think have been
Yeah.
alright, he's being a bit more negative towards.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how we finish off actually,
Oh yeah.
because we're not too far away now.
We're really not far away.
Well, no, we're going into the main event, some would say. So, Hogan and Warrior footage.
Yes.
We see the two men in the 1990 Rumble when it was temporarily just the two of them in the match. We then see Saturday night's main event where Warrior and Hogan beat Perfect and Genius. The main event where Hogan saved Warrior from Earthquake, and then the reversal on Superstars where Warrior saved Hogan from the same man. That leads us to this moment. So, Holly, what did you think about... Well, at what point, obviously, at some point in the show, you realised the main event is going to be Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, within the beginning titles, I realised that.
Okay, but I assume going into it you didn't necessarily know that.
No.
So, what were your thoughts on two things? One, that being the main event.
Yes.
Actually, just answer that for me first, because then that'll lead on to my second question.
Interesting. I suppose obviously, I know we see Hulk, or we have seen Hulk quite a few times. And we've only seen Warrior twice. I don't know. In my head, I was like, this will either be very good, or I will be very like, okay. Because of the stuff we've heard about Warrior as well. About potentially not being very careful. And I thought, oh gosh, like two big guys here, this could go very wrong. But yeah, just that was it really. Like kind of intrigued.
Okay.
That's the word I'm looking for here.
Well, speaking of intrigue, my second part of the question was going to be, what do you think about it being the first face versus face main event?
Strange. Very strange.
Every other WrestleMania, the last match
There's been
going
on.
Clear face, clear heel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very odd.
This was the era, so the logic behind this was Vince McMahon was looking to replace Hogan.
Yes.
Hogan was the man of the 80s. He had a wonderful run on top.
Yeah.
Vince has a fixation with age.
Once you get past a certain age, you're done.
He needs to find the next thing.
Yeah.
He tried he forced kind of Savage into a retirement as well in the early 90s as well, which we will definitely be covering, so don't worry.
When I say I get it as well, as in I understand, like, I don't agree with it, but I see that he's done that. Like, to me, it's like, John Cena, you're too old. Hello, Austin Theory. Like, that's how I think of that logic, if you know what I mean.
To a lesser extent, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think once Vince gets it in his head that he wants to do something, he will try and just press ahead to get it done. Hogan might be one of the few exceptions for Vince where he always, in the back of his head, thinks, I can always go back to Hulk. I can always go back to Hulk.
Well, he's a crowd puller, isn't he?
Honest to God, I think if Hulk could still put on a match now, he'd probably... I know Vince hasn't got any say behind the scenes, but if he did, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to do something with that. So they looked at the Ultimate Warrior, thought, he's popular with the kids, he sells merchandise, which is the two big things for the WWF.
Got to have a money maker.
People get behind him. Let's turn him into the next replacement of Hulk Hogan.
Okay, he does miss one vital thing, I feel like, that Hogan does.
What's that?
Is the ability to talk.
He has a very different ability to talk. Some good, some awful.
Yeah.
But Hogan doesn't always.
I'm not saying that Hogan's amazing at it, but he's got that little bit for me, which is a little bit more.
I agree with you, and not to belittle what you just said.
Oh,
I
no,
think
go
it's the
for it.
way that you've articulated it. I think he's
Yes.
missing the it factor,
Yeah.
which Hogan
There's
has.
something missing.
You look at Hogan, you look at Warrior,
Mhm.
and as a physical presence, you go,
Oh.
maybe Warrior's even more impressive, to be
Oh.
honest.
I actually think yes.
But even though he's not as tall, Hogan's got the
Yeah.
height and stuff like that. But then when you just watch them just carry themselves,
Yeah.
you look at Hogan, you go, there's something there.
Hogan is more of a showman for me. I
see,
mean, Warrior's still very good.
Warrior's a showman,
But
he's
Hogan
just,
knows what he's got.
it's all about the way in which you carry yourself.
Yes.
And I think Hogan, how do I put it, knows his value better.
Yeah.
Because love him or hate him, Hogan is a smart man when it comes to the wrestling business world. He knows when it's time for him to move away, and he knows when it's time that he can capitalise and make money. Warrior obviously had picked up on some of the aspects of Hulk obviously being a big draw, getting a certain amount of money. I won't go into it in too much detail because we'll cover it in a later show for sure. But Warrior, basically, when he gets to the position of Hulk Hogan on the card, he expects, well, I'm going to now get Hulk Hogan money. Regardless of how the shows draw,
Yeah.
if they get the same amount of people in, do they move the same amount of merchandise, etc., pay-per-view buys? Warrior's like, I'm getting Hogan money. And that wasn't the way it was, because ultimately Warrior wasn't as successful in that position as Hogan was. And, that's a tall bill.
Oh, they're
to
big
kind of-
boots to fill, aren't they?
Very much so. And there's an infamous moment where Ultimate Warrior on, I want to say SummerSlam 91, I'll go into obviously the details of that when we do that show, but Warrior basically went over to Vince McMahon and said, you give me an extra, I think it was 250 grand or I'm not going out there.
Jesus.
So he held him up. So Vince McMahon basically was over a barrel, had to acquiesce to the request
At the event.
at the event,
Jesus.
in the arena as it's going on.
So, like, in theory, he could have been in, I would call it gorilla, but
Yes.
in holding or
in
whatever.
gorilla position, yep.
And said, cool, yeah, I'm not going out.
Yep.
Jeez.
So he eventually said he'd pay him the money. Show went ahead, immediately fired. After the show was done.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
He came back briefly later on, but that was, I think he came.
Oh,
Yeah, he
what
definitely
a way
came back.
to go.
I know, that's why for a long time Ultimate Warrior was considered persona non grata. I've even got the DVD, but when they did the first release of the DVD of the Ultimate Warrior, like, they're supposed to be collections of like the good points of everyone, aren't they? And yet this one for him was the ultimate destruction or self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh.
Like, they had something similar with Bret Hart when they did Bret's DVD set, because he was still on the outs with the company at the time.
Yeah.
And basically he got wind of the fact that they were going to do a DVD set called Bret Screwed Bret.
Oh.
And Bret was like, no. And then eventually they worked out, and he got control over the DVD. But Ultimate Warrior was the first one where they sent it out and went, basically, this guy's a dickhead.
Oh,
here's some of his career.
What a way to go.
Yes, which is why he
So
was out for so
sad.
long. But yeah, we'll obviously go into much more
Yes, of
detail on
course.
that in later shows. But effectively what they're trying to do here is find the 90s replacement for Hulk Hogan. So
Okay.
that was their mindset
So
and
kind
mentality.
of put them up against each other, see also how the crowd react to them both with
Passing
each
the
other.
torch.
Yeah.
Purely is what it was
Nice.
going for here. There's a few things in here which is quite interesting looking back
Okay.
retrospectively, so I'll comment on them as we get there.
Okay.
But we're at the main event of the evening.
Yay.
Ultimate Warrior, who's the reigning Intercontinental Champion, he did
Yes.
win it back off Rick Rude
Mm-hmm.
at SummerSlam against Hulk Hogan, title versus title.
Yeah.
I believe it was actually Hulk Hogan that offered the challenge to the Ultimate Warrior in the
Okay.
build-up to this. So one of the best outfits and entrances of Ultimate Warrior, period.
So good.
Great song as well.
So good.
One of the issues the Ultimate Warrior always had is because he would bomb out to the
Oh
ring,
my god.
shake the
Blowing
ropes,
out his arse by the time the match starts.
and it's not a short match.
No.
Which isn't a bad
No.
thing, actually, I'll say. I'll
Oh, no.
go on the cards and say that's actually good for
Yes.
this one. But yes, he's blown out his arse, and that's why a lot of the time some of the stuff he did could seem sloppy as well. I don't think...
Well, he's tired. Like,
Exactly
your
right.
muscles are tired. But it's funny because in commentary as well, they continuously say, "Oh, maybe if he didn't run out to the ring, this wouldn't have happened."
Because they
Well,
already know.
If he didn't, yes, fine. But then it wouldn't be him.
I've got a question for you.
Oh God. Okay.
It's aesthetic wise, so
Oh.
I think you'll have an opinion.
Okay.
Holly, what do you think of the yellow strap for the Intercontinental title?
No.
I love it.
Do you?
I love that because Ultimate Warrior did it with a few colours. He had a kind of violet
Okay.
coloured strap at one point, and this wasn't really done again until I want to say it was like the Cody Rhodes era of the Intercontinental title before he left
Right.
in the first place.
I don't
and
know
he had
much
a white.
about that, I'll be honest.
They used to have a white strap for the Intercontinental title in the era you would have watched it.
I know the white one.
Yes, but the first person I ever saw change the title
I
colour straps for
see.
the Intercontinental title was the Ultimate Warrior. I liked it because it distinguished it as Well from the WWF
I suppose it also
title.
looks like it's his as well because it's colourful.
Yep, I liked it.
Okay.
Two great entrances as Hulk Hogan makes his entrance to the ring. Holly, who are you cheering?
Oh, do you know what? I did this as well. I literally, before it started, after I'd had my little bop along to Hulk's entrance, I thought I'm going to invest in one of these just because for me it makes it more interesting. Like when we watch stuff.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't go for Hulk because I thought I've not seen Hulk properly. He hasn't lost yet, has he?
Well, he didn't win in WrestleMania 4. Him and Andre both got disqualified.
Yeah.
But he has not lost up to this point.
But I thought in my head, if they're going to have him lose to anybody, this is going to be where it is. So I did go with Warrior, but then halfway through I swap, I change, and I actually, we'll see. But I had to support somebody to make the match more interesting for
Warrior
me.
was my first favourite wrestler as a kid.
Oh, yeah, I remember
so
you
I was
saying.
with
Of
I'll be
course.
with Warrior.
But I do love Hulk. We know.
Yeah, which is why I thought you'd just say Hulk right out the gates. But
Yeah,
the fact you had
I
to
think it's because I
about
did
it,
logic, and I thought, I wonder, but hey,
we get a great intense stare down between the two men here. Neither blinking. Big match feel to this one.
Tan versus Tan.
Very much so. And I think it's, you know how Andre and Hogan had their stare down?
Yes.
This is second to that to me. Nearly as good, I'd say, but it's very, very good.
Also, big hair versus not a lot of hair.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely been to the blowout shop, hadn't he? Warrior.
It looked like he stuck his fingers in like an electrical socket.
He did. He was cutting
Maybe
electricity with a knife.
Yeah.
And he also had the heart paint on his chest
Yes,
as well.
I did that whole outfit vibe spectacular.
Yep. No arguments from me. So Warrior shoves Hogan.
Yep.
Hogan returns the favour. This is a theme we see.
Yes.
Collar and elbow sees Hogan shoved into the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Hogan once more returns the favour. Warrior wants a test of strength, and Hulk obliges. Bearing in mind they haven't done that much, we get very sweaty at this point.
Oh, instant sweat.
Eventually, after a long time, Hogan is forced to his knees, and the crowd are going absolutely batshit.
Ridiculous, but it makes it so good.
It does, and
Yes.
for such a simple thing. So you don't always have to be doing flips and kicks. This is what I mean.
Absolutely.
Sometimes less is more
Yeah.
to get the story across. Hogan fights back and eventually forces Warrior down on his knees. Wait, hang on. No, we've got this. I've got this covered. As Warrior begins to fight back, he starts shaking his head, and
my
the
God.
camera angle
Oh.
looks like he is giving Hogan a lovely nosh.
It does him dirty.
A lovely nosh.
I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, I knew you'd have
Honestly.
comments on it.
Honestly.
Hulk trips him, drops an elbow, and gets a 1 count. Now we have a brief standoff. Shoulder tackle, and nobody moves. Crisscross, because apparently they're midgets from WrestleMania 3, and drop down by Hogan before he hits a body slam. Second crisscross, and this time Warrior hits a body slam.
This is where I start to go, I don't want it to be like this the whole way through.
Okay. Warrior I don't think it is, to be fair.
No.
Warrior clotheslines Hogan to the floor.
Yes.
Hulk is now hobbling on his left knee and falls down under the weight.
I'll be honest, he sold this very well because I did think, is this real or not? And then he got up and I went, he's fine.
Yep. Warrior breaks the count with a few kicks. The ref checks on Hogan and stops the count. Why?
Yeah, true.
Why? He wasn't
'cause
like
it's
unconscious.
Hogan, you
Carry
know.
on. Counting him out and
'Cause
then
it's
go.
Hulk.
Warrior then pushes the ref out the way. No DQ?
Yeah, I did think this also, I'll be honest, but he gets... Is it Hebner?
Yeah, of course it's
Gets-
Earl Hebner.
Very angry back at Warrior, which
Oh.
I did enjoy.
He does. He's a feisty
I was like, shove
little
him
man.
back. Shove
Feisty-
him back.
And he does. He's done that in other...
Yes.
I definitely remember him shoving Triple H.
Nice.
Ref checks on Hogan. Oh no, sorry. Back in the ring, and Warrior's kicking away at Hogan's knee.
Mm-hmm.
Exchange of eye rakes because that's funny.
I honestly think people should be drinking. If there's no it's a happening, take a drink every time an eye rake happens because, honestly...
Or a thumb to the eye.
Yeah,
We'll count that.
anything that involves your eyes.
Yep. Now they choke each other, like, honestly, like angry kids. And the ref forces them apart. He wedges his little frame in between them to split them up.
Comedic, I'll be honest.
Warrior then argues with Earl Hebner.
Of course.
Hulk is miraculously better now
Yeah, isn't he?
and hits a corner clothesline off a whip. Sesame Street right.
Hey.
Body slam and 2 elbow drops, gets a near fall for the Hulkster.
What's the difference between I'm so sorry, I've stopped you mid-flow. A body slam and a scoop slam.
Same thing.
Thank you. Because I keep writing scoop. But
guess
it's the exact same because they scoop them
It's
up,
the motion
right?
of what they're doing, probably. If I'm guessing. But yeah, it's the same thing, effectively. 2 near fall for the Hulkster. Front face lock now by Hogan. I said story. Holly, did you hear about the Richard Belzer incident?
Who?
Richard Belzer.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, basically a talk show host in the States. And this was in the build-up to WrestleMania 1.
Oh, okay.
But he's referenced by Jess on commentary because after Hogan puts the face lock onto Warrior,
yeah.
Gorilla says, "Oh, that's not a pleasant hold," and Jess says, "Yeah, just ask Richard Belzer."
Oh, yeah, but I didn't understand.
Okay, so what happened was Mr. T and Hulk Hogan were doing the promotional tour going into WrestleMania 1.
Yes.
And they went on to Richard Belzer's show. And Richard Belzer, if I'm right in thinking this, wasn't exactly the biggest fan of pro wrestling and was fairly tongue-in-cheek in the way in which he kind of mocked it as a profession with some of his comments and stuff like that.
Okay.
Hogan thought, okay. So they were talking about wrestling holds. And Belzer said, "Oh, show me something." He said, "Well, I can show you, I'll show you a front face lock." So he put a front face lock on Richard Belzer. Squeezed.
Yeah.
Squeezed. Let go, he's unconscious. Richard Belzer hits the floor. Hogan basically chokes him out.
Oh, intentionally?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you just hear his head hit the concrete floor like the...
Oh.
And he sued them like it was a whole big thing.
Oh, okay.
And because the crowd were like... When it happened, Hogan's like, "You're all right, brother. Come on." Like as if it was nothing, like he was playing along. But yeah, Hogan intentionally choked Richard Belzer out on TV.
Well, if you're going to say all that stuff, then...
It's also a little bit taking the piss, though.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying he would have beaten Hogan in a fair fight. But, don't get them to do that and then that's a bit dickish. But still, that's what happened.
Okay.
Small package by Hogan gets 2. Now a chin lock and some right hands. Knee lift by Hulk. Big punches and chops in the corner. And a running clothesline by Hulk gets a 2 count. Backbreaker also gets the same result. Back to the loosest of chin locks.
Oh, isn't it just? Oh, no, this was when I also went, oh, is that Warrior's face?
Yes.
Because he's got no paint on him.
I told you we would see him completely unpainted. And this was what I was thinking of. Uh-huh. And the crowd are still eating this up. Everything they do, they are eating. Which is great because it massively improves the atmosphere.
Oh my God. Also, I did wonder if this was my time now. I wonder if it was a sleep time.
Not quite. Not quite. Warrior grabs the hair, but no, nothing happens with it. 3 knees now to the spine by Hulk. And Hulk has got his working boots on in this one.
Yeah.
He's really making effort because he knows that he's the workhorse out of the two.
Oh, for sure.
Back suplex gets a very close fall. Like, very close fall.
Yeah.
3rd chin lock now. Warrior starts shaking. He breaks free, and both men connect with clotheslines and are down for quite some time.
The double clothesline actually looked quite nice as well. Like sometimes you look at them and you go, okay. But this one actually looked really good.
They were very good at it because they actually did it in the 1990 Rumble where they both clotheslined each other and were down to finish their little spot together. Right. And that was hit very well as well. So I just think they had the right chemistry to hit that move.
I've got a question, not really a question though. Are both men going to Hulk up at the same time?
Not at the same time, but Warrior begins shaking the ropes. Hogan's strikes are having no effect. A big chest butt, he grabs his head and then sternum pumps him. Okay, that's a sentence. 2 clotheslines, make it 3. 2 corner whips and Hogan falls to Warrior's feet, much like he did with Savage, if you recall. Suplex by Warrior gets a 2, and a bear hug now kills the atmosphere.
Boom.
That's the one time where the crowd kind of go, oh.
Yeah.
Hogan chant starts. Holly, can you do the honours?
He's asleep. He's obviously awake.
Hogan keeps his hand up on the 3rd test. Hogan fights out. Warrior goes crashing into the ref following a drop down by Hulk, and Earl Hebner eats a bag of dicks on that one.
Doesn't he?
Tough landing for Hebs there. 2 top rope double axe handles by Warrior, but Hogan sidesteps the flying shoulder tackle, and Warrior somehow sells that more than actually hitting the grown man moments ago.
Yes.
Back suplex by Warrior, and now he has the visual pinfall. But that isn't before Hogan gets the visual pinfall on him.
Yeah.
When Warrior's down because he missed the shoulder tackle, and that's enough to put him down, Hogan covers him. 1, 2, 3. I really won, brother.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but to be fair, although he does get it first, Warrior gets the same thing shortly thereafter.
Yep.
Well, this is an interesting comment we've got here.
Oh.
Jess says, well, I guess this is a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Oh, yeah.
And they're 1 apiece. Hey! It's a win twice match, motherfucker.
Hey.
I called him Cowboy, actually.
Cowboy.
So it's a win twice match, Cowboy.
Oh.
Ref does a slow count and Hogan kicks out at 2. I don't mind that slow count because
I don't mind it.
Fucked.
Yeah.
Warrior kicks out at 2 from a schoolboy roll-up.
Yeah.
Running back elbow sends Warrior to the floor. Both men try to ram each other's heads into the post at the same time. They both kind of block it, but then a headbutt and Hogan does go into the post.
Yep.
In the ring and a clothesline by Warrior. Gorilla press and a backsplash. That sounds bad. But a splash to the back. But Hogan powers out at 2, brother. Now we get a Mania-sized Hulk up.
Hey, he's alive. No. It's honestly, it's my favourite thing. And it's so stupid, but I just love it.
Big boot by Hogan, but he misses the leg drop.
Oh.
Splash by Warrior. And we get the 1, the 2, the 3.
Yeah.
Hogan has lost definitively at WrestleMania. He kicked out right after the 3, though, I noticed.
Oh, yes.
So as Warrior celebrates, Hogan dramatically falls to his knees before going to the outside and grabbing the WWF title. Hogan comes back in, he hands it to Warrior, and they hug. Hogan has taken giant steps towards immortality, is what they say on commentary, which is a great line.
Yeah.
Hulk has his puppy dog sad face as he leaves in the motorised ring.
Yes.
Fireworks for the new champ, but we are continually shown Hulk Hogan time and time and time again. Now my point for WrestleMania 4.
Yes.
You see what I meant.
Yep. Oh, for sure.
I'll do the right thing. I'll hand him the title and give him a hug and say, look, this is the new champion, brother. No. You're making sure that that's the memory
Eyes
of
are
that.
on you.
Yeah, exactly. And the cameras knew what to do.
Not silly.
The cameras knew what to do. They kept panning to him.
Yeah.
With his doing as well. Why, brother? Why?
Yeah.
Really nice ending to the... If you take out like the political side of things and like the backstage manipulation, really good.
Yes.
Really, really good. That whole thing, really good. What did you score this match, Holly?
I scored it a 3. Oh, why are you looking at me like that?
3.75.
Oh.
I agree with Dave.
Yeah, I mean, it was good, but... Oh, I don't know. I think for me, the repetitive, like...
Yeah,
I'm going to do this, then you do it, got a bit much for me, which is when my brain starts to give up.
I thought you might struggle with this because of it being a bit of a slower paced match, but because of the atmosphere, because of everything going into it, if you take away all that stuff, it's not the best match by any stretch of the imagination.
Not at all.
I agree with Dave. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
3.75. Yeah, don't hate that.
Yeah.
And also that would make it based on Dave's scoring system and mine as well. I think yours technically as well is the highest scoring match of the night.
Potentially, yeah.
The only one that came close for you was
by
Orient Express.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's the culmination of WrestleMania 6.
Yeah.
What did you think of the show? You look concerned.
Well, just because you're full of glee.
Well,
I don't know. Once I did all my notes, I knew obviously you were going to ask me this, so I went back and looked at them again. Because I don't know, when it finished, I just sort of felt a bit like, like, I don't know why.
Probably because you weren't tired of it.
Yeah, probably, but I have mid-carded it.
5.
Yeah. Which, I don't even know, because even in hindsight, I think, well, actually, there was only 2 matches really in there that I really enjoyed.
You like Rude and Snooker?
Yeah. Would I say I really enjoyed it? I don't know.
Trying to think what else.
I don't know.
Coco
I just feel like maybe
Martell's
there was something missing for me.
Jake and
I
DiBiase?
don't know what. But I've mid-carded it, which isn't bad. It's just not...
I think even based on your scoring, I think that's harsh.
Oh, it probably is.
For me, I'd give it just at 7.
Really?
Just 6.5, 7.
Okay.
Because it finished on such a good note.
Yeah.
There was like one match in the show that I hated, which is quite rare considering all the other shows we watched so far. So on that basis, and when I kind of think about my scores, there wasn't anything outstanding. Maybe 7 is a bit high. I'll say 6.5 then.
Okay.
I'll say 6.5.
Yeah.
I think even based on your scoring, I expected you to be around 6.
Yeah, I mean 5
but
is...
your scoring, you do you.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, even when I explain it, I go, I don't know, but there's just something.
You stick with it.
There is something that I'm not getting, and I don't know what that is.
Apart from WrestleMania 1, though, this is the first WrestleMania that you haven't said, I'm tired.
No, I did actually get through this quite easily, I'll be honest. I
And
even
think
stayed up
because-
late watching it one night.
And it's the latest,
Yeah.
the longest one of these shows has gone on for, certainly on the WrestleMania front that we've covered.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, you didn't think, like, please end, please
Oh,
end.
no, definitely didn't. But I think the
But yet,
placement...
WrestleManias that have done that have scored higher.
I know. I don't know. I don't know.
No, it's fine. Like I said, I'm not actually trying to get you to change your score.
No,
That's your...
I mean, no chance, but...
Well, I know.
Yeah, I can't really put my finger on what it is, which for me just indicates there's something that I'm not getting.
Fair enough.
I don't know what that is either.
Fair enough. You like the Savage and Dusty match as well?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. I'm looking forward to the next WrestleMania because it's the one I owned on VHS as a young child, so I got many a replays
Nostalgia
of this.
is coming.
Very much so. One other thing that I forgot to mention in this show is there were some future wrestlers sat in the crowd
Oh yeah.
as children.
Oh really?
Where was it being aired, or where was it taking place?
Canada.
Do you think of any Canadian wrestlers?
Yeah.
Edge,
Yeah.
Christian,
Yeah.
both in the crowd.
Oh really?
Yeah, they went as fans. And there's a clip, I think,
Aw.
if you freeze frame it right, where you can see really long, with Pat Tanaka type hair, Edge,
Oh.
in the crowd at the age of
That's
like
cool.
14 or something like that.
Oh wow.
So yeah, there you go.
Nice.
I think he might have been a bit older than 14 to be fair, but yeah. So,
Yes.
I think we've pretty much come to the end of the show other than the usual social bits and pieces.
Yes.
Have you not even needed to look that up? Do you just know it off the top of your head now?
No, they're on
You
my
got it
phone.
written down. Of course you got it written down. Go for it.
I don't want to say the wrong thing. The email address is wintwicepod@gmail.com, and then Insta, TikTok, YouTube is all wintwicepod. We've had some messages come through, haven't we, about I obviously won't read them now, but more requests coming through, which is good.
Yep, we've definitely had more
Love
requests.
that.
I read one out on the last show, so
Yes.
obviously we'll factor that in the next few weeks because we've already got a couple of shows lined up for the next two.
Yes, we do.
Because we've got Rebellion. Is it
Oh,
Rebellion?
I don't remember.
So yeah, I mean, going back into the memory banks, I'm pretty sure we picked Rebellion 2001. So if anyone's listening to this and has any thoughts on that show,
Yeah.
send us an email. I'll read it out during the recording.
Yeah.
And then we're back on the Mania path again.
Aren't we just?
So, hopefully, you've all enjoyed the show. It's a little bit shorter than the last Mania, which is probably a breath of fresh air for
True.
everyone involved. I've had a nice time. You had a nice time, Holly?
I've had a lovely time, thank you.
Well, hopefully everyone will have enjoyed this and be sure to tune back in to episode number 21 of the Win Twice Wrestling podcast. But until then, take care. Bye.
Bye.